As all the great eras of Godzilla films had an end for years, really makes our 8 months seem less oppressive, right? I mean, sometimes didn't we go like a decade or ish? I don't know the time between the different eras of Godzilla, but there was a time. Hey, I'm Drew.
I'm Joe. What are you talking about right now?
There's
a gap.
We had a hiatus.
It wasn't a specific I did put like 3 months ago. I was like, hey, sorry guys.
Hey guys, we do still exist.
Yes, and we exist here back in Springville, Utah.
Yeah, where we started. No, we started in Vineyard, which I don't think you could even Google Vineyard, Utah.
It's next to Orem.
It's a township of Orem,
which is above Provo, which we've also recorded episodes.
And weirdly enough, Vineyard, for being podunk, it's expanding. There's a freaking IMAX theater there. It's like, hey, we got some housing and an IMAX theater.
We watch Godzilla over there. Guys, this is where history is born.
It is the Godzilla podcast. We'll discuss a little bit later how strange it is, how many more kaiju podcasts there are, and tokusatsu in general. Like, they are just... It's a gremlin situation where there was... I think, Joe, just before we start this real quick, I always say that, but it could go on. Gargantua Cast, wasn't that the big one we were against, or is that a totally...
No, Kaiju Cast.
Okay, right? Kaiju Cast, they're done. Kaiju Cast is...
What?
No more. So the big...
Is that why our rankings
Kaiju,
went up above them?
I don't...
It was weird. It was weird one day. I was like, we don't have as many downloads as they do. I know it.
I just saw a tweet, and I don't even know if I follow them, so it's probably just shared by the community of Kaiju lovers, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're done, and there's... Just off the top of my head, there's Gargantua Cast, there are so many. Kaiju Evangelists.
I've seen that one on Twitter.
That one... But they're spawning, and we're back? Question mark.
Hey, it's odd to think that we might be the second oldest still going. Is Godzilla Pod War Hour still going? I see them on the iTunes thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, they might still be. Be going.
It's an interesting niche podcast, but let's start this.
Hey, sometimes we're the number one when you go into iTunes. I was like, what?
Yeah, because our name is the Godzilla
other people
podcast.
Have Godzilla in their thing. I'm like, I guess
because of the MonsterVerse, the word kaiju is becoming more mainstream, but everybody knows Godzilla. And hey, Joe, when you click on the Godzilla podcast, what is our podcast going to be about? It's going to be about Orochi,
Mothra.
the 8-headed dragon.
Well, it's going to be about Mothra 1, 2, and 3 in the 90s.
It's going to be about Zone Fighter.
And then Orochi, the 8-headed dragon. What's a Godzilla?
I don't know.
It's been
anymore.
A few movies.
But hey, literally the next couple podcasts, we're going to give out some options here later, but they're not going to be... Well, they're going to be Zilla. They're going to be a review, or... Yeah, anyway, it's not going to be Godzilla for a little bit. Okay, guys, Orochi, the 8-headed dragon, ADV Films.
Please just start it first.
All right. We're at the 000 mark. Our podcast is a commentary / podcast. You can listen to us while watching this film, which we'll get to how you can find this film. eBay. We're at the 00 mark. Guys, we're going to start this, so get your fingers at the ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Beautiful Toho logo.
In all its glory.
Okay, now you can talk about where we got this thing from.
So ADV Films, Joe said he recognized that logo. So they started... The company officially was over with at 2009, so maybe they started in the 90s. I think they had a good 15-ish year run. They distributed Neon Genesis Evangelion.
That's where I know from.
That's their big... That's the kicker.
There's an iTunes review saying, like, we need to get Joe to watch some, like...
Anime.
I
think what they're talking about, Joe, is they want you to watch, and this is... I am the most base... would I be a Chad? I don't know. I don't know what a Chad is. I'm barely on the internet. If you take the people who watch just the most surface level anime, hey, I'm your guy. So he's talking more about what's called Shonen Jump anime. Mm-hmm. It's Dragon Ball. It's Naruto. Right. It's...
I gotta tell you, man, when I was a kid, that stuff was on.
Yeah.
And I went, it looks weird. And so I never watched it.
Really?
Yeah, but I watched Pokemon and I watched Yu-Gi-Oh!
It was an easy transition for me to go from watching Power Rangers to watching Dragon Ball. Hey, guess what? We're watching Orochi, the Eder Dragon. How this starts out...
The beginning
absurd.
Of time.
It's the Big Bang, as Joe pointed out.
Is the Big Bang described oddly?
Nonsensically. In the beginning of time, there was nothing. That nothing which is
on nothing,
got heavy and exploded. And then we get like 9 names of gods.
9 random ass names.
I do not want to sound racist. This is 2020 and we're not, Joe. Some of those names, I was like, is that something I can order off a menu in Japanese? It really sounded like that.
It's a list of names, and I turned to Drew. I'm like,
there's
okay,
at least 8 or 9.
I'm guessing that to the Japanese public, they're listening to the list of names brought forth out of the universe,
and again,
they're going
maybe
like,
being a little white guy from America, but hey, I know those names because of school and because of just cultural awareness in general. If you're Japanese, but they just go on and on about all these names. I think we get less than half of them in the film. So Joe, just a thought here. Do you think that perhaps Orochi was an attempt to start a series of films?
Oh, Drew, I know for a fact.
This is an attempt to start a Marvel Universe style. Oh, that's pitiful.
True. Oh man,
this is the most pitiful attempt at so our opinion of the film out the gate. I didn't even realize that's what they were doing, but that's
Drew.
Gosh,
it was meant to be a trilogy. I will pull up the interview with the writer later where we have less to say. Now, the movie starts bonkers. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
It only gets more bonkers?
And the guy with the mask is looking up into the sky. He's having some sort of connection with a crystal driving through space.
Yep. It's the reminiscent of Space Godzilla because he's just a giant crystal, but this is sort of a fusion between a Space Godzilla crystal, and we're talking a big white spiky pointy crystal, plus there are some gold rings around it.
It's visually very similar to Princess from the Moon.
Yeah.
A ton of diffusion on the special effects, and
it's very similar
shiny.
To Princess from the Moon.
Not done as well.
Not done as well, exactly. Not shot as well. Doesn't seem as filmic, artsy, well put together.
Nope. I think the monster effects might be better, but the monster part, Princess from the Moon, is
Hey Joe, I think we have a chosen one right from the beginning. So
I think, we got twins. Oh, here's our opening credits telling us the title of the film.
We're not going to see Orochi for another hour, and yet when the title starts, it's
out of nowhere.
The cave paintings, the cave carvings of all the gods explode into an Orochi, which, Joe, you said that probably was only for the American cut. Dude, they would not put in the effort to just add that title.
They do that.
Really?
Yeah, they did it for Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla as well. Like the 60s one, that one has those opening credits are just English opening credits, and even though our DVD had the Japanese audio, during that part, that was a specific cut for the American release.
All right.
Or the English language release. I'm sorry, guys.
We by the way, watched this with English dubs because we wanted to go full jokey. What are you going to say?
The crazy thing is that the movie starts with the beginning of time. Mm-hmm. There's this weird witch man on the mountain, and he's talking to someone like a god, one of the 19 gods they listed off, and you're like, was that one of them? I don't remember. And then it shows us the light beam coming from the sky, and 2 princes, not princesses. We had this confusion earlier on today. 2 princes are born in the same hut with the mother who's always laying down. I'll talk about that in a bit. And And then suddenly it cuts and we see a dragon looking at us. It's the 8-headed dragon on the poster, and it's like Orochi the 8-headed dragon. That's the name of the movie. And then it cuts back to other opening credits. That's what makes me think that they added that in. Also, this movie is not called Orochi the 8-headed dragon.
No, it's called Yamato Takeru.
The movie is called Yamato Takeru.
The name of our titular character is the main character of the film.
For the Western release of this movie, they're putting it out. They're just like, there's a dragon in this movie at some point.
Joe, one problem with putting the dragon as the center of the film, he's not in it for very much. He's at the climax, but also all the other fighting and there are other monsters in this film. I was not aware that there was going to be before we started this. They have nothing to do with Orochi. They're just other things that he happens to come across.
I'm sending it back to hell where it belongs.
So what we're seeing is there is a Rasputin-esque. And Joe, you'd agree. So he's the main sorcerer of this film.
He's
a bad
a
guy.
Sorcerer who whispers things into the emperor's ear.
And
he's trying to, he has his own evil deeds that he's trying to bring about Orochi, basically.
Like Rasputin, and I'm literally taking this from the cartoon because, I don't know real Rasputin history.
Oh, so factual. The so factual 90s movie.
Look,
Anastasia.
I'm taking it from the pop culture interpretation of Rasputin, but yes, he is a guy who gets behind the king and influences him.
Yes,
or in this case, the emperor.
For those Lord of the Rings watchers, he's Wormtongue.
Sure, yeah.
There you go.
But he influences him enough to convince him that one of the two princes, his children, is evil or is foreboding something.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't feel good about this one.
You got to kill the one child.
He's like, all right, man, I'll throw it over a cliff for you.
Infanticide over a premonition, I guess, because he is literally a infant, and they think he's evil.
And so his aunt, the Articuno. Which Pokemon is it?
Ho-Oh. There is a big light bird that comes out and picks up the infant as the sorcerer is dropping him off a cliff.
Mm-hmm. And then delivers
it's taken
it
as
to
a sign.
Aunt.
Even... Dude, Joe, a literal, a god came out of the heavens and rescued this child from, its death by falling off a cliff, or being thrown off a cliff, rather. And the king is still so stubborn as to say, nah, he's still bad. We still gotta... Well, he decides not to kill him, but he says, let's just, banish him, I guess. Banish a baby.
Someone else will take care of him, and then his mother, once again, laying down in another scene. This is the only scene she's not introduced where she's not laying down.
Yeah,
okay.
She can move.
Let me underline this. So
3 or 4 scenes with the mother. She's always laying down?
The Empress,
okay,
the mother of our titular character.
The 2 princes, one of which is evil.
Is in 6 scenes in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And in only 1 scene is she ever introduced not laying down. We're watching that scene, by the way. She is sitting instead.
She's always horizontal. It's almost as if the filmmakers don't want the women to have anything to do in this film.
Don't worry. We will explore some more. But it is hilarious, Drew. Because when I saw it the second time, I was like, okay, the reason I noticed it, this is the reason I noticed it, is because the first time she was she had just given birth, and the children are
laying
there.
Down. That makes sense.
The next scene she's in, she's still laying down, and it's years later. I was like,
why is she still?
Is she giving birth
down?
still? And I was like, no, it's just,
she was
it's
sleeping.
Just a different scene, and she was just laying down.
What?
Now she's sitting. And then in the next scene that we'll see her, she's laying down. And then when she comes and she washes up on the beach 2/3 of the way through this movie, she's laying down.
Always laying down.
Always laying down.
And Joe, this is our second time viewing the film. We just watched it, researched a little, and are now commentating. I'm still confused about the 2 the twin brothers' names. Which one's Osu?
I think the only one we give any time to is
Osu.
is the main guy. Yeah, he's Osu, and then the other guy I think renames him later in the movie.
Yeah,
so the guy who he's fighting.
Yeah, his name becomes Yamato Takeru.
Yeah,
and
that's the name you will be known by.
So it's Takeru, but he's from Yamato, so I think it's all just tied together.
Yeah,
but.
So we're watching him as a little boy. I mean, I was confused at the beginning because I was like, which boy are we following? It's like, oh, we're just never following the other kid.
Twin. Okay,
it's we're only watching this kid.
The other brother is only used to like make the main brother Takeru seem evil. As in, the other brother gets angry at him later in the film for like a minute, and Takeru kills him.
So this is the part of the movie I thought was a little odd, is that he puts his hand into this thing,
and then a statue,
and then he comes out the other side next to Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn.
What?
Boom! Someone's laughing.
All right.
Have you seen Roman Holiday?
Nope.
Oh, a very famous movie. He puts his hand into the little like statue face thing and makes her jump. Anyway, whatever.
Oh,
it's so cute.
You and your film knowledge.
Oh. Anyway,
look, the people are listening to this because they like kaiju films.
There's like one person who laughed somewhere.
Yeah, half a person.
That's what I think happened. I was laughing about it.
An elderly mother laying down.
Also, Bullhead Man is not here the first time around. Okay, so the kid is brought into the Shazam room.
Yeah, a chamber of secrets.
Yes, and he can't pull the sword out of the stone. And the Bullhead God tells this kid there's going to be 3 lights one day.
Yeah, see, this is why this is part of the confusion, is I didn't even know which brother of the twins this was, but you're right. You just have to ignore that there's a second brother. Sorry, that there is twins, because it only ever focuses on one of them.
There's going to be 3 lights he's going to see one day. And
does it ever say they're lights? They're literally objects.
At the end of the 3 lights. Yeah, but luckily the Bullhead's narration comes in later and lets him know.
I don't know that I can stress this enough. There's 3 objects. Joe, one of those objects is a human woman. She's literally treated as an object.
Yeah, you do what you can.
Which is nothing with the female characters of this film. That's what you do.
I was confused by this movie's ingenuity in a jump cut here when I was like, okay, the kid's riding, and then there's like a cool shot where the horse goes over and there's like a cut. And then I was like,
there's a guy
on the opposite side. I was like, that man is huge. There's a stunt rider. And it was like, oh shit, no, it's a change in time.
As the child Osu, later on to become Takeru, rides his horse over the camera. As the camera looks, it flips the other way, and he's riding the horse away from the camera. He has grown.
Yes.
So that's the transition for his growth, is riding towards the camera. And
I
then
thought
away
it was
from...
a bad effect with a stunt rider for a second.
I love how the bad guy in this film, the Rasputin-esque sorcerer, looks evil. Osu is always in white. He's always in pure white the whole film.
It's because he's the hero, Drew.
It's just...
And white is purity. This is a non sequitur thing where she's like, oh, by the way, your emperor's father wants you back because he's got to go back to the thing. And then his aunt, who's taking care of him, just goes, just by the way, oh, let's talk about your magical powers on your necklace real quick.
I just don't... Well, she's magical. So the whole film, she's always... It'll cut from his adventures. I'm just going to call him Takeru because he eventually becomes Takeru. Our main character, Yamato Takeru. Whenever he's off on an adventure doing his stuff, it'll cut to this aunt, and she's always in a room full of candles. The level of evil that he's facing is how much the candles are blowing, or the candles are blown out. And she's always praying or doing something to like assist him from... wherever she's at.
I don't know.
It's used as like, because when Orochi shows up, all the candles get blown out. He's the big bad.
So
final boss.
This is where you
fight.
This is where you find out he's definitely a bad guy. I mean, after he was throwing away the baby, but
after you could tell, after he was talking to the evil that was flying through space,
the crystal coming from the sky.
But it's just very base.
Also. One of the things is that they show us that Crystal, not to be one of those people who talks about, the science behind a fantasy movie, but that crystal thing was flying.
I have a feeling you're about to.
That crystal thing was flying way outside of the Milky Way at what looked like to be like a a pretty fast speed, but not really fast speed. And that guy goes, it's going to be years before it gets here. And I'm like, it's going to be centuries before it gets
Hey,
there.
Joe, you don't know. It could go faster than light travel.
Yeah, maybe it was just slowing down for the camera for a second before it was started.
The first one that comes to mind, man, you've seen Event Horizon, correct?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Well, he's got the most easy interpretation of that. You take a piece of paper, you fold the piece of paper, and you stick a pencil through it. You jump from one point in time and space to another point instantaneously.
That's right.
That's what it's doing.
Oh, yeah, and our hero, like, what the heck is he doing? He's like grabbing the sword or something, Rasputin's stuff. And then Rasputin comes up behind him, and then suddenly our main character's face changes. And
this happens a lot in the film.
The light that he gathered as a child like shines, and then light shines out of his eyes, and then he like his powers protect himself.
May the power protect you.
Yeah. So this is like one of two scenes where the brother actually gets a line here.
Yeah, because he's killed. Like the brothers are about now fully grown. They're adult men.
Yeah.
They at least look like adult men. I don't know if they're supposed to be young men in this, but they're definitely guys in their 30s.
Oh, never mind. There's another scene where she's sitting.
I don't think she stands up, though. I don't know. It's just that she has like only a few lines in each of those. It's so weird to me, Joe, because not only does he have longer hair, not only is the main character real hunky, so he's always wearing white. And when he's when he's in the throne room in front of his father, the emperor, he's wearing this robe that has green on it as well. So I just couldn't shake the feeling. I'm like, oh man, this guy would be perfect as the white or green ranger. Sorry, long hair, just like Tommy Oliver. Yeah,
that's where you go with that. What can you do?
Can't get away from Power Rangers.
So the production design, not subtle. That's what you're saying. It's not very subtle.
No. It's rather than develop the relationships on screen, it conveys them through superficial
There
means.
she is again. She's laying down.
It's because she's dying now, man. Rasputin is an evil guy.
3 out of 5 scenes.
So because he wasn't, because that sorcerer to the emperor, and literally his backstory, it's like a throwaway line given early at the beginning, I think by the mother, that Rasputin-esque guy, literally, he gained access to the kingdom because he's like been a follower of the king and like has made him stronger or something. Basically, he's been there for a long time and helped, in a lot of situations. So like we trust him. I mean, he's gained trust over the years.
He's been there since Mifune cut himself off.
It's still weird what he actually is at the end.
Yes. Okay. So now we can talk about the connection between this movie and another movie that we saw.
Yeah.
A certain 3-hour epic 50th anniversary Toho production.
There's 3 in the title as well, The Three Treasures.
So,
this is a sequel.
The sequel-ish. I think it straight up is a sequel to The Three Treasures. Mm-hmm. Except that
to a section of The Three Treasures.
Except that the creation of the universe, I think, is slightly different. There wasn't a list of gods. There was like the Adam and Eve person. They both do start with the beginning of time.
Dude, the budget to The Three Treasures, or at least the production values, are so much higher.
That's true.
So much higher.
That is true. I mean, this was made just to be like a tokusatsu movie, though, apparently. I'll get into that interview with the writer later. That's 6th. That's scene number 7. She's laying down in 4 scenes.
Joe, not exaggerating this at all.
4 scenes. Also, great day for night with a random
just a rain shower in front of him. Also, the shot right before that, Joe, I've been watching a lot of Better Call Saul, which if you guys haven't watched that series, it's on Netflix.
I've seen
it's
2 episodes.
Dude, it's amazing. We're on like the 3rd season, my wife and I. So a lot of the shots are very like symbolic. I mean, you can just watch it and be like, oh, it's obvious what they're doing there, but it's also very artfully done. As the mother is dying, it pans from the emperor and the other brother kneeling next to her, like pans over to Rasputin guy behind the veil. Like you can see him lit, but he's like in the shadows, and it's like, he's behind it all because he's behind. Yeah.
This is the first fight scene we get in the movie. It's actually a pretty action-packed movie, but obviously his brother believes that he killed his mother.
Yeah, I like the camera work here.
Then,
it's very like...
They go straight up shaky cam.
Yeah.
But the fight's actually pretty good. The sword fight between him and his brother.
You can see they're giving it their all, the actors.
Yeah, most of the person-to-person fighting in these movies are not very great, so this is...
only upon the second viewing here, Joe, am I realizing what's happening. So I thought that that Takeru's, so this is the second time his face has become evil, his eyes light up green, and I'm giving this film too much credit. So if you guys have seen Big Trouble in Little China, you're going to get a lot of those effects where eyes glowing. There's some laser beams, some eye lasers.
Look, man, you got to have laser beams. You're making.
But also the sound effects. It's just very reminiscent of stuff from that John Carpenter film, Big Trouble in Little China. I thought that his facial transformation, kind of like monkey, wolf-like, he looks real evil, fangs, hair on his face, and all shriveled up and evil. I thought that would have more to do with his transformation at the end. I think it's that he actually can't control his powers at this point.
Right.
And so they're he's letting his emotions get to him. And so they manifest as that.
That makes
sense. And
then
later on, when he's more purified, as in he has the 3 lights, he's able to wield them, blah, 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 blah. His powers manifest as this big old, well, we'll get to that later. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't look evil. It looks like very much a force for good.
Yes. And then
there are some funny lines by the Emperor in this film. We're going to get to him later, but he's sending him out on a task, which, Joe,
because he wants to get rid of him.
Didn't that happen in the 3 Treasures?
It did.
Somebody gets sent out on a task.
So there's a lot.
There was more than one task, which is why that movie was 3 hours, because they get it sent off on a task, accomplish it, come back, sent off on another task.
After the intermission of the movie, he's got a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Luckily, this is only one. So he's got to get rid of this. What the heck? There's some kind of what the heck? I can't remember why he had to go out, but
to put under subjugation another warring empire.
Oh, so he straight up does that. Okay,
he has to put them down.
I thought he was going out for some reason and then got distracted by this snake cult going on.
Suppress the people that are a threat to his father's kingdom. Yep.
Yeah, I guess so.
And it's weird because I guess these other kingdoms, of which we really only see 2, because this princess we're about to meet, and the kingdom that he, spoilers, conquers in just a little bit here, nobody really respects or knows that he's the prince. Oh, because he was banished. That's why he was gone, and he just barely came back in his adulthood. It skipped over a lot of years at the beginning, like his growing up. So that's why I'm so confused, because I'm like, why does he go to these kingdoms and nobody recognizes him? He is a prince. He should be pretty recognized. Well, I'm thinking modern times. I guess back then you don't, unless they look like royalty, they don't, maybe the peasants don't know who they look like. Would all the peasants know what King Arthur or whatever, fictional, but looked like? Probably not.
So whether or not this guy was real or not, they think he might have been a real emperor, and they count him as the 12th emperor of Japan.
Okay. I mean, certainly, Yamato, you think it's Takeru. A little bit accentuated? It
was Japanese legendary prince of the Yamato dynasty.
I can't remember if this story is an embellishment of mythology that all ties into Shinto, or
he's listed in 3 histories of Japan.
Yamato Takeru?
Yeah,
okay.
The allegedly real guy. But yeah, and then there's a legendary narrative, which is what this is based on. Is that there's a magic narrative with it, kind of like a King Arthur kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Including, I'm not sure if it has the sword and the stone in the original legend, but there is in this one.
You're missing it. It's because they got to westernize it, man.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
This main girl, I didn't even catch it before. She had a single dagger, threw it at his face, Takeru's face, and he catches it, hands bleeding.
Yeah, it becomes a wushu film?
Yep, for a couple seconds here.
Every time she's on screen?
Literally, flies across the sky, kicking him, definitely on strings. I like how they positioned that shot so that you didn't see above her at all, because they couldn't figure out how to make the strings.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have wire removal until 92.
They probably looked so...
And so that means in Toho years, it's 2004.
I think this is literally outdoors, though.
But he's got his whip. Oh, so there's these 2,
We're describing something that we didn't set up. They are at the first kingdom, which I don't think... This isn't the kingdom they're at war with that he has to suppress. This is just a kingdom they're passing by. And they go to worship at some shrine to a god. And a lady who looks pretty royal, she's like, what the heck are you doing here? Starts attacking them. I like that once they suppress her, this There's a guy with magic whips in this film, guys. We
forgot to talk about the guy with the magic.
It comes
whips.
up over and over, but he's one of Takeru's friends and mentors.
Legit jump scare when he first introduced in this movie.
Jumps out of the ground.
Out. When we were watching this earlier today, I was like, "Oh my god!"
He leaps out of the forest floor. Whether it's on a soundstage or not, this outdoor stuff that they show off, like a couple of times, they look like they're filming it outside. So the fact that it looks like he's actually outdoors and he just jumps out of the ground was like, whoa. So anyway, they take her down as she's attacking them. I mean, it's 3 against 1, but she's got magic powers. She shoots an energy blast from her hands, which she will do repeatedly throughout the film.
Oh, she's going to be very convenient to the hero throughout all the rest of the film.
But just before either capturing her or possibly killing her, because she was trying to kill all 3 of them, her sister runs up and says, "Oh, please don't harm her." And then now they're just being taken care of by the 2 of them.
And then she's like bandaging his wounds that she gave him.
Yeah,
they're having some sort of connection. Right now they're looking into each other's eyes.
Oh, you were trying to murder us?
I am also in love with this woman. Right. Let's talk about her one more time.
What's the actress's name?
Yasuko Sawaguchi, man.
This is the Princess from the Moon.
This is...
She was in a couple of Godzilla films.
She was in The Return of Godzilla. She was in Godzilla 1984, the main gal there, where I first fell in love with her.
Was that her first big...
That was her first movie.
She was the one that won these Toho contests?
Yeah, she won the new Cinderella contest.
Okay.
And then she was in Princess from the Moon, which we also reviewed. And then she was in Godzilla vs. Biollante as a different character, despite the fact that Biollante is a direct sequel to 1984.
Was she was the thing that became Biollante?
Yeah, she is Biollante.
So she's in the glamour shot of
she's got the the corny face shot of her
as the dust is going into space.
And there's a similar wink. Shot in Princess.
I don't know
if
she actually winked, but
there's a similar shot in Princess from the Moon. I remember there was a
Joe. How outlandish is her outfit in this film? Yeah, it's bright orange. It's like highlighter orange. She's got matching boots and a little scarf. It's so lame.
I think her outfit's pretty cool. I like looking
at it. It's
coral.
Coral.
Anyway, yeah, we've watched most of her filmography just by watching these 80s.
Yeah, we didn't intend to, but here we are.
She's Chihiro's mom in Spirited Away, the voice. So that's another movie.
Wow.
But yeah.
Just FYI real quick, the distribution rights to those films, the Ghibli films, picked up by Netflix, so those should be, if they were doing a slow rollout of them, but they're going to be appearing on Netflix. So good time to rewatch them.
Yeah. I mean, I own most of the ones that I'm going to rewatch over and over again.
Me too, but that was the weird in between. Disney lost the distribution rights. Some company, I don't know, got them, and now I think
I think it was
so that's why they were just suddenly in Walmart for a while. It's like, hey, look, you can find Ghibli films, and that's when I snagged all the ones that I cared about too.
Yeah,
I
thought Disney was doing us a favor, but if it wasn't Disney, I was like,
no, that's the reason they suddenly became available, and now they're digitally purchased, as in we're just going to be able to stream it on Netflix. But anyway.
So the original story for this thing was going to be a remake of The Three Treasures, but then
they decided to try to make a trilogy?
They were going to try to make a trilogy, and after numerous editions is what they came up with.
It's almost as if it's easier for an audience to handle a film that's pretty epic cut up into a trilogy. Yeah. And it's easier story-wise to focus on some of the story elements where Three Treasures was like a lot of films packed into one.
Yes. So
modern audiences.
There's there's a couple really good interviews on here with the writer of the film. I'm not going to get his name right now because I'm in the middle of a page and I don't want to scroll up. But anyway, he has penned a few of the Heisei era movies, and I think the last Godzilla movie that he wrote or helped write, it might have been a story by credit, I'll check in a second, was Godzilla 2000, which was also directed by the same director of this movie. So
before you go on, just really quick to set up where we're at in the film, I just recently rewatched Conan.
Oh, you're
the first Schwarzenegger one. I'm ready. What's your...
Oh,
a little bit of inspiration from those films?
Just a little bit.
what we're seeing on screen, it looks like the snake cult. Like, it looks very much Conan. Visuals, aesthetic, costuming.
So, before he was hired as the writer for Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, he says, Shago Tomiyama, producer at Toho, asked me to write Yamato Takeru. As you know, Yamato Takeru is a tokusatsu movie too. It seems Mr. Toriyama liked the quality of my scenario for Yamato Takeru and thought I was good at writing tokusatsu movies. So that's why he kept on going here. But I remember, hold on here. He talks about the other things real quick. I know he talks about, oh shit, where is it?
Joe, this is a G podcast. How dare you?
Yeah, it's a G-rated podcast. Where the hell? Hold on.
Just immediately cursed. Okay. So this is.
I know he brings up Conan the Barbarian. I'm looking for it.
You missed the comedy beat, dude.
Oh, what's the comedy beat? I'm sorry.
You know what just happened. She used a little bit of candle wax to give herself a beauty mark. Oh, Joe.
Oh yeah.
There are people that live upstairs.
I need to make me look ugly.
So
I'll give myself a mole.
The evil emperor. They're in this other kingdom that he's supposed to be like taken out, and they use this princess. I don't know if she's actually a princess, but she's some rich family from this kingdom they're passing by. Basically, she's teamed up with them now, the magical using princess from the moon lady. So what she's doing is going undercover as one of the wenches. One of the ladies that are supposed to dance.
One of the people who's supposed to be sacrificed.
Yeah, she can actually fight, though. But she dresses up all fancy, and in order to not be selected as one of the dancers so that she can sneak undercover through the castle, all these ladies are kneeling in a room. He comes up, taps them on the head, they show their face, and when it gets to her, she's used candle wax to give herself a little mole and black out one of her teeth. So boy, was that funny. And here we are, comedy beat number 2. Well, it'll happen in a moment. So she fights the main... Joe, is this guy not just Genghis Khan? Is he not?
He's definitely the guy... yeah, I guess he is Genghis Khan.
Joe, there was a...
What is best in life?
Hear the lamentations of their women. That's the...
Free thoughts.
That's not the full quote. But we're of course talking about the Conan.
This is it. Okay, so please describe your work on Yamato Takeru. And the guy says, I wrote already how I was hired for this movie. I had been interested in the legends of Japan for a long time.
Okay.
So I really enjoyed working on it. I wanted to write something like John Milius's Conan the Barbarian.
Wait, so is this writer, is he Japanese?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Yeah.
But it was not easy to match Conan the Barbarian.
It's almost as if it's amazing how well that film turned out.
The snake cult part of that film.
1000%.
Yamato Takeru was originally going to be a trilogy.
Going on about the hole cut out through the roof and everything coming through.
This movie was the first part of the trilogy.
I'm 99% sure that the 3 treasures of his first quest, doesn't he face a guy with like a big scimitar like this main Emperor Genghis Khan guy has?
I can't remember. It's been too long. There was like a big sword fight in the middle of that thing.
What also reminded me of a lot of stuff here, Dark Crystal. They're opening up a pit of lava that just happens to be. I guess their castle is built above. Yeah. So a little bit of which one is that? Raiders.
Temple of Doom.
Okay, Temple of Doom. Sorry, not super familiar with those films. Kalima. And also for those real 90s kids, not the real ones, are there fake ones going around?
Fake 90s kids.
The Turbo Power Rangers film where the lava monster guy, he has a name, but he comes up, very much looks like this beast.
So apparently the writer didn't put in a head villain because he was going to make a trilogy and he wanted that to like continue.
So what my takeaway was, as we were 3/4 of the way through the film, I'm like, Joe, you know all this feels like is literally, the production value would have went down immensely, but it's like 2 episodes, a 2-part story arc. The first 2 episodes of a TV series called Yamato Takeru.
This is exactly what you were saying.
Because there is a tokusatsu formula here.
I didn't buy it. I was just
the
like...
Henshin hero.
No, it's just another origin story like the 3 treasures, just shorter.
But I really could see that by the end of this, you've introduced everything you need for your series that you can reproduce over and over. A big fighting monster, a big fighting robot. That's the spoilers, but there is one in this film. And the big bad, which is Orochi in human form. And you just go from week to week with the two characters meeting up with our princess and Takeru. I don't know. It just feels very... This sticks to such a sticks to a formula to such a degree that it becomes quite rote and, in my opinion, boring.
How dare you? So the guy spent 2 years writing it, by the way, and did 3 full drafts of the screenplay, and then Yamato, the Okawara, the director, made some changes, and one of the changes, which we'll see here soon, was that he changed the design of the Kumaso god. It was originally going to be a giant spider instead of a stone creature. I read
that too. And I guess that there's some concept art about that. Kumasa Gomi, he's going to be the guy that we're going to see here in a second. He will emerge from the lava. I like the effects done here.
I dug it. We're not quite there yet. We got to go through a very long fight scene first.
Oh boy, how much fun is that?
I think it's you know what? This is probably my favorite part of the movie. My favorite section of the movie. Although the first monster that he fights is pretty bitchin'.
The Kumasa Gomi, the lava monster.
Yeah, the lava monster. I think it's actually like really cool. But yeah, this writer. Let me actually get his name here. I'm sorry, guys. The writer is Wataru Mimura.
Okay. And
Wataru Mimura, his first credited writing thing, although he wrote this first, was Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. So that's
okay.
That's our favorite Terminator ripoff.
Yeah. The T-1000.
Okay, actually, he moved forward. I'm sorry, I said his last credit was Godzilla 2000. Actually, he worked on a lot of Millennium movies. So he made Godzilla 2000 and Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla and Godzilla against Mechagodzilla 2002, which I haven't seen Mechagodzilla or against Mechagodzilla. That'll be fun. And then Godzilla Final Wars, he was credited for the story. So that was the last movie that the last Godzilla movie that he worked on. So actually, like a lot of. He's one of the main dudes in the Millennium series.
Okay, so we're gonna have his name pop up again. I mean, it makes sense. This is.
I do think the quality of the writing improves on each movie. I think.
Is this his early?
This was his first one.
Oh, okay.
This was his first one that he wrote. It's not the first one to come out.
So that's why he's relying so heavily on established. Like, this is how you write a hero's origin. Plus, you got to have your monster fights. There are actual lightsabers. The sound effects they use are lightsaber sound effects, and the swords glow. Hey, I just realized the main character, Takeru's sword, glows green like Luke's.
Like Luke's, there you go.
Wow, so he is definitely a good guy.
He's ripping off different movies, though, in this one versus Mechagodzilla 2.
There's one single moment that's going to happen here very soon. That might have just been the DVD. I don't know. It kind of skipped for a second. We hear a single shot of somebody shoots a beam of something. Okay. Yeah, it's the Stormtrooper Slinky sound effect. I've said this in a podcast a long time ago, but they created the Stormtrooper laser firing sound effect by like basically dropping a Slinky, I think, over one of those stick mics, but like obviously filtered through many things, but it was just a Slinky. They use that exact sound effect in this film, but a lot more than that, because that only happens one time. Laser swords.
We do get the laser sword thing.
It's Japan taking that back from Lucas.
Yeah, 2 really long sword fights. I guess there was also a really long sword fight in 3 Treasures, and this was going to be a remake. So there is a lot of there's just tons of overlap with this and 3 Treasures. But yeah, the movies that he's ripping off are different. And yeah, he goes from this in terms of Godzilla. I'm not sure what other movies he might have written, but he goes from this Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, slightly improved writing.
Yeah,
and then Godzilla 2000. There we go. Although I think Mechagodzilla is supposed to be awful, so. Right? That's what I've heard.
But literally the thing that comes to mind with Megaguirus I don't think I've ever seen that film, is the kick. Godzilla jumps into the air, does this flying. Apparently it's just really, really bad. But that's the only thing I know. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Some giant kick that Godzilla does. Anyway, also, Joe, there's not much about Kumasagomi, the lava monster that's going to come up. He was portrayed, the suit actor in that suit, our lava monster suit, is Hurricane Ryu Hurricane. This guy
wrestler?
No. He was in a lot of these Heisei films. Joe, he portrayed King Ghidorah in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. He was the Batra larva in Godzilla vs. Mothra. He was Baby Godzilla in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Of course, an animatronic in some of that, but partially
but
suit
he had
actored.
to stand up and
when he had to actually move and jiggle around with his bobbly head. Orochi, the eight-headed dragon, obviously Kumasagomi, but then also he was, not only was he Baby Godzilla, he was also Godzilla Jr. in Godzilla vs. Destroya. Yep, all the same suit actor.
This is one of the worst looking parts of the movie right here.
Yeah, it looks
not that
really...
the set is actually pretty cool, like the top of the rooftop, but the way that it's lit, the way the scene is lit makes it look so cheap and like it's on a stage, like a theatrical stage. It just, I don't know, it just takes you out of it. It's like there's no motivated lighting for what's above them since there's no stars out.
Hey Joe, do you want to cringe for a second? Oh, it keeps skipping.
Yeah, I want to cringe at the fingerprints you apparently put on the DVD before.
We've literally only played this twice. The one time that I took it out.
It's all right.
Anyway, there are two pretty graphic moments in this film. One, he stabs him, our Genghis Khan character here through the side, and it's a pretty cool practical effect. Like, it's obvious that, it's just plastered on whatever skin. He literally stabs through him, puts the sword through him, and pulls it back out. I had to joke to Joe just before he spoke to Takeru his dying words, "You old," I'm just going to say bastard. But then instead he literally goes, "You're a strong man." They were just fighting to the death. And as he's dying, he's like, old man.
No, yeah, you were saying like that Predator thing where Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura, like they grab each other's arms.
Elbows.
You son of a bitch.
It's a real... Okay, this is no longer a cheap podcast.
We haven't said the F word yet. So.
Yeah, well,
it's fine.
Everything but.
I'm not going to put the explicit rating on it. It's cool.
Okay, cool. I mean, it's Orochi, This was...
We see a guy stabbed in the neck. Or like,
yeah.
Come on. We assume you guys can take it, right?
I'm looking at it.
Probably not rated, dude.
No, it's not.
It's a made-for-DVD distribution
What's one NTSC? I don't think this was even the...
NTSC is the region.
Okay, then yeah, no rating.
Okay.
Whatever. It is gory, though.
All right, now we get our part. So our princess is tied up, and she's going to be sacrificed.
Lava monster is slowly rising.
And it's pretty cool.
Okay, I'm just going to show you the face of this Turbo Power Rangers villain because it looks the same. Like, it looks better in Turbo Power Rangers movie.
I think it's pretty cool. Like the rock effects of his suit.
His ability to generate different weapons is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so
I don't know. It's just this is the point of the podcast where there's a lull because we're watching it, but it's just kind of.
I think the light effects.
Malagor. That's the evil bad guy in Power Rangers. Oh, there we are.
Malagor. Oh my God!
Is that not just the same thing?
That looks very similar.
I know. It's just that this was done with an American effects budget and American effects. So this came out in the Turbo Power Rangers movie came out in '97, and this was a '94 film. I don't really care to look more into it, Joe, but wasn't that strange that there was could be wrong here, only clicked on it once. Apparently in '94 there was also a Yamato Takeru anime. I don't know if it was a film or a short-lived series or something, but I saw Yamato Takeru anime same year. Same name.
He had a thing going for him this year, I guess.
That could have been... So, Yamato Takeru, the Japanese name for this film...
We had like 3 Frankensteins come out in the same year. This is not too long ago. So
True. I'm actually seeing a little bit more. When you just Google Yamato Takeru, you get the guy's name, Japanese mythological figure. It says mythological, so I really think this was a made-up guy. Highly embellished, if not made up.
Yeah,
Joe.
I mean, there's the emperor in the history books, that guy, and then there's the legendary
his brave acts in mythology. Because I was telling Joe earlier when he got saved by that bird, the like light bird from the heaven. It has a name, but it's all Oh, Articuno, Lugia. We're 90s kids, guys. And so our analogy to that is like, yeah, I know Pokemon. Legendary bird. Gotta catch
the true.
Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. This podcast has devolved.
Gotta catch 'em.
Pokemon.
Gotta catch 'em all. And then there's a guitar solo. That's the Pokemon the first movie version.
No, that's just the full version of the theme song. There is a sick guitar solo.
Well, now there's the version that plays in the first movie.
The one that's over the battle that they.
It's over the opening
of which, Joe, we're recording this a couple days after, so Pokemon just had its Pokemon Day on the 27th. For you guys who haven't yet seen it on Netflix, there's a 3D animated remake of the first film that Joe's talking about.
Yeah, but it doesn't have this actress in it, so I might not watch.
So you just don't care?
Yeah,
I've heard it's decent.
This is the most beautiful woman of the 80s. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. This is her least flattering film, only because her on-screen character has so little agency, but also like, I don't know. She is pretty, but the hairstyles they've given her in this film
her eyebrows are thinner. That's what I realized when I was looking at the other pictures. It was like, he's
powering up using his crystal, Joe.
Yeah, dude, man, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And then he has the ash face.
Yeah, the Ash is a Deadeye in Evil Dead 2.
The Deadeye.
And I told you what this one looks like as well, Joe, because they obviously build up his cheekbones and distort his face to look all ripped and shredded and veiny. Also looks like, it's almost as if you had painted that red. He'd look like Tim Curry from The Legend. Just got to add some super huge horns on the top of his head.
I'm Ash. My name is Ash, and I... I'm a slave.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king, baby. Give me some sugar, baby.
Housewares.
Yo,
Ash Williams. Gosh, are we just going to go on?
Let's just watch that.
Army of Darkness.
Let's watch Army of Darkness.
I'll give you one of like 5 Blu-ray copies I have of Army of Darkness.
Oh, shit.
That literally for years, it's like you just pass that bargain bin at Walmart and it's like, do I have Army of Darkness? Yeah, $5.
I slept too long.
Ah, crap. I've got 4 of them. Whatever. Hey, I asked random coworkers who seem kind of cool. So, you ever seen Army of Darkness? Oh, you haven't? Would you care for a copy?
Would you care for a copy?
Do you have a Blu-ray player? Oh, in 2020 you do not. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Do you have a console? Oh, you have a Switch that obviously doesn't have a CD tray.
You're one of those people who gets rid of their stuff. I see what you are.
If you have like multiple copies. Hey, do you want a copy of Halloween? I have like 4 or 5 Blu-ray copies.
Are you serious?
Because I
do want a copy of Halloween.
I'll absolutely give you
and
one
Army
of the
of
discs.
Darkness.
Oh, okay. I'll look for them. You're coming in a few weeks again.
Yeah. So the director is this is the second light, by the way. He gets like a mirror from defeating the evil.
So the first light, and it just this
also
is more
gets
obvious.
his hair blow dried just before.
Yeah. The mirror from the lava monster?
Yeah.
And this whole film is cut between that bull god that he finds at the beginning. We say bull god, and that sounds like something that Joe and I made up.
The bull god.
As we're like the lava monster, the flying blight bird. No, he says in the English dub, I am the bull god.
This is the first time they used just a blue screen, and they were like, we don't need to composite it. It's dark.
So over and over narration given to us by the bull god. He is the American dub actor for the bull god is your movie trailer announcement guy or narrator for... I don't know. He sounds like a documentary narrator. It's not.
It's cornball is what it is.
He should not. He sounds very good announcing things, but as like a voice actor, no. Zero emoting. Like if there's a negative amount of emoting he can give, like he's sucking the emoting away from other voice actors. That's what he does, and so he delivers lines so flatly, so like boldly and very
I am
very announcer-like.
I am the bull god. Is that how you talk? Really? Oh, and the bull god, by the way, is
Susanoo Oh, and that's that's how we found out that this is a sequel to The Three Treasures. I kept scratching my head thinking, God, I've heard that name before.
That name?
Oh, in The Three Treasures, Susanoo Oh defeats an 8-headed dragon, which is apparently Orochi. That predates this film. I mean, you couldn't tell me because it all looks like the same era of Japanese mythology. That's all emperors and, formalities and blah, 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 blah. But apparently it's
they got rid
much
of the
later.
Weird curly Q hairstyle by now, though. So.
I think it's just my Xbox. My Xbox sucks.
Yeah, your Xbox is having trouble reading.
I have had
DVD.
this Xbox for
so
probably
the assumption is
13
that,
years.
After a few minutes of this thing, we'll be like 30 seconds behind on commentary.
Shoot. No, crap.
It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Oh, well, if we're going to say that to the literally half a dozen people who will ever watch this as a commentary, Orochi the 8-headed dragon no longer has distribution. This is probably the one time it was distributed stateside, and I don't even think...
And you messed up the DVD.
Okay, well, it was a burnt copy, so it's going to get messed up after 3 plays. You put it in Anyway, so ADV Productions, ADV Films, very prominent anime and tokusatsu distributors worldwide. They had an Asian, European, and American branch throughout the probably late 90s, mid 2000s. Then their inventory or the rights to their distribution stuff picked up by Discotech Media and Media Blasters, which we've mentioned before in this.
Media Blasters.
Yeah, Media Blasters were like Gigan and I want to say Destroy All Monsters. There was at least one more, I think. But anyway, so they have a connection to them, and that's why... I mean, does this not look like some of the stuff that we got, the DVD cover from Media Blasters?
Yeah,
they're always very over the top, painted.
They're not bad, though.
They're catchy. The whole reason it looks like this, and all you guys have to do is go on eBay and search Orochi the 8-headed dragon. It's one of the first things that'll come up. You'll see the DVD art. Dude, the reason it looks like this is that you pull it off the shelf and go, wow, that looks cool. I want to buy that. They're very good at, catching your eye with these covers.
I dig that. So this director will, let me just say him, Takao Okawara, who has, we've heard his name before, 1992, Godzilla vs. Mothra, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, Orochi, the 8-headed dragon. Then he goes on to do Godzilla vs. Destroyer. And then his last Godzilla movie was Godzilla 2000.
The
worst effect shot in the entire movie right there.
So
30 seconds ago, guys.
Orochi was actually... That's disgusting. So Orochi's coming towards the Earth. We're finally seeing the beast himself. And as he's descending upon the Earth, which in movie time, we're actually not going to see him for another 20 minutes.
We see a bunch of stock footage and old special effects. Because I swear to God, they didn't film any of this for this movie.
No, they didn't, because miniature effects. And so the shot is him descending towards the Earth, blue screen onto it. He's as big as the Earth. He looks so dumb.
And the shadow is cast from the light on the figure. The shadow is cast onto the Earth thing, and it just looks like, that's really bad.
In the shots, the Earth is in the lower left, and Orochi is descending from the upper right, and the shadow that he's casting upon the Earth takes up most of the planet. He would be larger than the North American continent. And that when he comes down, he's about the size of a mountain range, so easily defeatable by the giant mecha Yamato Takeru.
Mm-hmm. So this is
it's literally describing right now what happened in the 3-headed dragon.
Yeah,
not in
remember
Three
what happened in the Three Treasures.
That small section of the film that was really dope and actually drew you back into the film.
Yeah,
because you're like, wow, this movie's long. Got some good sword fights. Boring. Oh wow, he's fighting a big dragon. Oh, and that's over with. All right.
So apparently, that guy, what's his name again?
Which one?
The guy from Three Treasures.
Oh, Susanoo Oh.
Susanoo Oh. Thank you. He defeats the dragon, right?
Yeah.
And then, the soul of the dragon, I don't even know how it works, is put into a spaceship into space. I guess,
Japanese mythology, yokai, Shintoism, all that stuff. It just is wacky. We're going to pre-spoil this,
any
but
polytheistic thing is a little wacky.
Yeah, pieces of God things can become other things. A fang of Orochi, when he was defeated years and years ago by Susanoo, was broken off and landed on Earth. The rest of his body apparently thrown into space.
We're not supposed to know that bit, but yeah.
The
rest of his body thrown into space, and then the God guy is coming back down to space. He's Jesus in the crystal right now.
It's weird in the crystal
soon
form.
To be Katagiri on Earth.
Yeah, Katagiri, Godzilla. That's our same actor.
And then the Fang turns into Rasputin.
Yep. And I've been Rasputin the whole time. Also
direct sequel to Three Treasures.
Your joke, the very final mother laying down scene, whatever, is Shang Tsung. So it's not Shang Tsung. The look of this film, often right from the beginning, this sucks. I am sorry, guys. Nobody's watching this, but it is like having a difficult time reading this DVD.
The person winning this DVD is sorry, guys. It's a little bit messed
try
up.
Watching it on an Xbox One or something, any sort of media player that's older than a decade plus old. Because we played it on my Xbox One in the other room, no problem at all.
No problem.
Hey, you want to know what Joe? Look at their symbol. It's everywhere. It's on the walls. It's on the Emperor's. Takeru's father, the Emperor, the symbol looks like the Magic the Gathering symbol, so that will make no sense. But, Joe, it's the bottom is a diamond. The top has 9 points. There's 4 points on each side and one giant spike in the middle.
Okay.
Do you think that this is from defeating Orochi? There's 4 spikes on each side, and the big spike in the middle is the Emperor. They defeated Orochi. We're turning into nerdy Conan O'Brien.
The symbolism of the 8 points, you see, and the 8 heads of the dragon, the 8 teeth on each side, you see, the 8 kingdoms of...
I'm just going to let you go on.
The problem is when you got nothing to say, it's really hard.
We blew through our facts.
I know.
We blew our facts load too early.
No. How much did it make at the box office, Drew?
I don't care.
I'll tell you. It made...
Oh, wait, our audience does.
800 million.
See, does that not look like the Magic the Gathering symbol right there?
Oh, it does actually. Pretty
it's
similar.
Everywhere.
Yeah. It's pretty similar. 800 million yen, which is 8 million yen-ish in now dollars. I don't know what it was in the 90s, but it basically made about half of what Space Godzilla made.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
if Space Godzilla did double the... Wow.
And I think Space Godzilla was supposed to be a disappointment, right? So
yeah.
There we go.
I mean, it was right at the end-ish. It was in the later part of...
and the writer talked about how, he was asked if they had any budgetary constraints on this movie. I don't know why the interview asked him that. But the guy was like, no. No,
I mean, they had hoped that this was going to be a trilogy, so of course they were pumping money into it.
I mean, they have this
they
have this beautiful gal as the sidekick.
Yeah, she's already been in established, winning Toho films.
And
winning, as far as this podcast is concerned. We like Princess on the Moon. I don't know if they actually won at the box office, but we liked them.
You got, you got this big mythology to pull from. This is the beginnings of Shintoism, I guess, is what it's exploring. So there's that. Yeah, her costume's a little bit corny.
Yeah,
it looks like
a
something
little bit
you would wear at an anime convention. Like
it's cosplay level.
That just cosplay level leather work right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
nothing's aged. It's all just like brand new. There we go. The sunset, the lovers, and I was like, are they gonna go in for a kiss? I was like, no, this is a Japanese film. They don't kiss unless it's a sex scene.
Except they do kiss.
They don't kiss. Look, they just come in for a hug. Look at that hug.
Sure, you keep forgetting that they kiss.
Did I look away when they kissed later in the movie?
You were there when they're underwater. That's about to happen.
Oh, that's not a kiss.
It's a kiss.
That's not a kiss.
It's the kiss of life, as opposed to the kiss of death.
It's her giving him air.
Yeah, but it's a smooch.
So he can float slowly up to the surface. I know
that she was giving him... She was giving him life-saving oxygen. We just witnessed a shot of the Rasputin Shang Tsung sorcerer.
Watching him. No, they're not even looking up, by the way. They just did never notice it that he's up there, just on the...
And he really is framed like Tim from Monty Python, which, by the way, that's also on Netflix. This is all going to age terribly because it won't be on Netflix, but...
This is on Netflix podcast.
Hey, we're... Oh, gosh, if we were sponsored by Netflix...
Oh, that would be awesome.
And quit my part-time job.
There you go. Let's just quit our jobs and hope that Netflix sponsors us.
Hey, Netflix, algorithmically, I mean, SEO optimization wise, our podcast has got a really good name, guys.
So apparently a scene where they were going to cut one of Orochi's heads was taken out. What?
Joe, why don't we? He cuts off like 6 of the 8 heads.
I guess one of them was taken out. There you go.
So if we really cared to pay attention enough in the climax battle of this film, the amount of heads they cut off, sometime near the end, we'd be able to be like, hey, wait, there are 6 heads cut off. It only showed him cutting off 5. I don't care. Yeah. Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm in a real cynical mood today.
How dare you? You're cynical. They're going to give us another 1-star iTunes review. Okay, so now we get the fish
monster.
You. The
catfish.
The catfish octopus.
It's
Frodo!
Mr. Frodo! I'll boil you some taters.
Do not disturb the water.
Taters?
Hey, I'm talking fellowship here, man. Follow my... okay, all right. Some great model work. I'm just kidding. It looks like a little doll, but... she's got like what's up with the hand signaling in this movie? Is that like a tokusatsu thing? Like they got that in order to get powers. The beams to come out of my hand.
3 motions with her hands.
Yeah.
Just like I've discussed in the past, Joe, you know, from the moment you gain your powers, you know the exact posing, there's a technical term for it, but your Henshin hero stances, whatever, to activate your powers, and she has to give like these 3 symbol whatever with her hands. You know, wow, I'm going to be real gender stereotypical here, but you know, girls know those hands games. When we were growing up,
what?
Girls know those hands games.
They know those hands games.
Them hands games, but so they'd be.
She knows how to use her hands.
I'm going to just fly past that comment
so,
and say that look, it is Shang Tsung. And I say that finally because he morphs into other people.
Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat.
You can't possibly say that without us going, Mortal Kombat!
What a terrible movie.
What an amazing film. The first.
No! Have we argued about this yet?
You have enough on Nude Clan, but it's a good bad film. That's a
panty shot right there.
Yeah.
She jumps into the water. It's really awkward.
I thought she had short shorts on too, but no, she did not. That's bad.
This is all,
bad, guys.
All the underwater stuff here is dry for wet, and it's not good.
We've seen this happen in other films too. This DVD is skipping so bad. Like, guys, just unless you have a skipping DVD, you're not going to be able to keep up with us.
We're going to be a little bit behind.
Next time. I'm going to try to bring the Xbox One in here, and we'll see if I has a better time reading these. Because, like, it is covered.
We've never had a problem before, have we?
No. And we've always used this Xbox. It's just, she's getting up in years, guys.
I guess, I don't know.
And this is the elite version of this console. No.
My assumption is that when you grab the DVD, now there's a giant thumbprint on the bottom. We're going to, like, pull it out and be like,
what kind of a caveman do you think I am, Joe? Do you think I grabbed it?
Dude, I grew up with people, or I was just like, you're not allowed to grab my DVDs. It's not because...
I don't touch them on the bottom.
It's not because I don't want you to watch these movies.
Grab.
It's because I don't want you to put a thumbprint on my damn disc.
Joe, I have a collection of hundreds of DVD, CD, Blu-ray, a couple 4K.
I understand.
I know how to trade my discs now. I am offended.
Look, man, it's not our fault this isn't on Blu-ray. It should be on Blu-ray.
I don't know how to handle my media.
This should be on Blu-ray. That's the problem here. Also, not a kiss.
So, guys, if you ever have access to,
it looks like it's gonna be.
It's full on just crashing. The servers are crashing.
It looks like It looks like an attempt.
This is a really fun, Joe. Go on.
Sorry. Get him.
So, you know how, Joe...
Shape of Water. That's the freaking
I wish I could go back, because we'll just look at his leg.
Look at her, like, paddling along lamely. Oh, it's so funny.
As she gave him the kiss of life, it'll never make any sense to me. We may have to... What is it? It's completely paused. Oh, this is infuriating.
It'll catch up.
It'll catch up. All right, then.
Whatever. Waiting for the DVD to stop skipping around.
The best podcast you've ever
That is
heard.
not a kiss, Drew.
Okay, if you guys have access or ever get to watch Orochi, they had a dragon.
She dived in there.
Literally pause it. Okay, if you're watching the film, just pause it. And I'll tell you when to unpause it. It's completely frozen.
Oh my gosh.
This is terrible. Oh, he has Skechers on. Look, it's sneakers.
You're right.
So he's got white joggers on and sneakers. He has the joggers because he's got to show off his sneaks. Is that what the youths today call their kicks?
Yeah, their kicks. They get their kicks.
No, they wear kicks.
He goes up to the top. He didn't see any of this happen, by the way. He just like has a breath full of air.
Oh, we didn't even... Joe, how do we gloss over this? His name is Osu, and her name is Odo. So it's like...
Oso and Odo.
Odo and Osu.
It's a type of cereal.
Odo Osu. Oh, it's... Okay, you guys are good to press play again now.
Okay,
Literally, as I say that, it keeps freezing. You're right, it is catching up. This movie is not worth the effort. Are you in agreement?
You might just press fast forward.
This is the first time in this podcast, but
this is the first time we've ever had a problem here because we get like new DVDs and we just put them in.
Yeah, and then we buy something off eBay from a guy that I've never bought anything from before. And hey, guess what? It doesn't work. Hey, pushing fast forward for 2 seconds made it suddenly work again.
Okay.
So we're just going to keep our fingers crossed as I see that it stops working. Okay, this is the first instance of Oto, the girl's name, the girl princess, her name is Oto. Mm-hmm. She becomes dust.
Yeah.
And with that, she takes out the second beast.
All she is dust in the water. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah.
Is that a song?
She disappears. All we are is dust in the wind.
You know, Robert Smith, I want to say, of The Cure. I don't know why. This is it was a really funny tweet today. I guess Robert Smith of The Cure was quoted as saying, basically, he despises Morrissey so much that if... Totally off topic. But if Morrissey says to not eat meat, he's going to eat meat. Out of defiance, I was like, I like you. Okay. I like you a lot. I don't know why. You're just singing and it just came to...
Morrissey came to mind?
No, the Robert Smith quote, because I like him a lot.
Okay.
It's still attempting to read media, guys. We're sorry.
All right, everybody.
This is becoming a real hangout sesh. This is more like a zone fighter.
But we have to... This thing has to finish. We can't just like keep going.
So close, but it's like brain scratching.
I feel like we're like 3 minutes behind right now.
You know that thing that this is going to really freak out some people, but you know that thing that the dentist uses to scrape your teeth, like to get off the plaque? It feels like it's scraping my brain. That's how much this hurts.
Look, man, we're just going to have to do one of these. Check and see what it is on the damn timeline.
Yeah, because we've already cursed so much. Oh, wait, how do you even...
Damn is not a curse word. All right.
Damn. I feel like quoting the...
Is it... All right, everybody, we're going to pause
info pane. No, we're not pausing. Okay. I'm just printing up the info pane. So we are at the...
104.58.
104.58.
Pause it, Drew.
105. No, it's catching up to itself. You see how it just skipped 12 seconds? Don't stop your DV. You know how I said pause earlier? Guys, don't pause it.
Everybody go back. No, it's not. It just went down 1 second after that like 3 second gap. It's not doing it. It's not. All right, everybody
we
stop.
have another 40 minutes of this.
Everybody stop. No, we're not going to have 40 minutes of it. What you are going to do is you are going to pause it at 105.0.
Okay, 105.0.
Everybody.
Okay,
Drew's going to take out the damn disc and clean it. And we're going to come back So hold on, guys. 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 0 seconds. We will get there, and we will continue.
It's not going to help
on.
anything. But
Okay, and we're back.
Okay, I guess we're back. Hey, we're back.
We just switched things that's playing it because the DVD looked flawless. It played flawless before. So
yeah,
105.0, everybody.
1 minute, 5 seconds. We're going to start this in 3, 2, 1, go.
And starting it appropriately on him seeing his mother on the beach lying down for her 8th scene.
Yeah. No,
5 of which she is introduced into the scene lying down.
But this isn't his mother.
No.
I also like how my Xbox One knows how to read this correctly, so we get a 4:3 format.
So it's not his mother because she stabs him.
Yeah, so this is for the millionth time, Shang Tsung. She stabbed him through his neck.
It's really gross, and it makes me feel gross looking at it.
They definitely did that as a reverse shot, right? Because that went in way too smooth.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably did.
So he was down, and then he kneeled up, and she pulled it out.
And now, yeah, we're back to Rasputin going, foolish boy.
Foolish boy. Foolish mortal.
Even if it was an illusion, and we just assume the hero dies because we just got away from here, by the way. Oh, my goodness. So, the actor, let's look at him for a second here. Masahiro Takashima, he's actually been in another Godzilla movie as well. He is the brother of an actor who was also in another Godzilla movie. So let's look.
Okay.
So, let me see if I can get this right. So, in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, he plays the Chief
Wiggum?
Chief Honoso, and he. Oh shoot! No, do I have this right? No, I don't have this right. I'm sorry. So in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. No, it's in Godzilla vs. Destroyer. I'm sorry. So he's also in Godzilla vs. Destroyer. He is Major Sho Kuroki, and that was actually a role his brother played in one of the earlier films. So he took over his brother's part.
You're talking about the actual actor's brother.
The actor's brother.
Wow.
Played the same major.
I wonder how similar then they looked facial feature-wise. Maybe I'm mixing them up.
Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, he's the character who likes pterodactyls.
Pterodons or whatever.
Pterodons, whatever. Man, come on.
Yeah, I gotta just I gotta undermine you, man. You know, it wouldn't be the Godzilla podcast if we weren't throwing each other under the bus.
So, anyway, he's been in these movies before. That's all I'm saying. So when we were watching this movie, going like, I know that guy's face. That's where we know that guy's face. Also, his mother, always laying down, was in Tampopo, which is a great Japanese movie.
It's literally I just recognized his face, like literally only facial features only, because obviously he has shortcut military style haircut in the other movies. And in this one, he's got big old long hair.
That's right, big old poof, big old puffy hair. I think this is the part where Rasputin becomes the Fang again. But he brings the god down. The god's now coming down. The giant crystalline spaceship.
Yep.
Coming through space.
We're going to see him, Joe. Our favorite dude.
And then it's going to be Katagiri.
I jokingly said that, like, if you were going to cast this guy in a film nowadays that you want to do, this is him in 2012. So it's only 8 years different. Well, no, he's a stud. We're talking, of course, about Hiroshi Abe, so I'll just refer to him as Abe. But, like, he is our main villain. We've said our main villain was this Shang Tsung Rasputin sorcerer. It's not. He is only a fang of Orochi, the eight-headed dragon, and the whole time this crystalline spaceship thingy has been flown to Earth, crashes on the moon, breaks open. Inside was, the human form of Orochi, the eight-headed dragon, portrayed by Hiroshi Abe. This guy is a stud. He was in Godzilla 2000 as Mitsuo Katagiri, and the guy, aka the guy who on the top of the building is all full. I mean, this is just how much of I'm gonna call myself a weeb here. Literally, Seto Kaiba, full on trench coat, just standing on top of the building, and he goes, Godzilla! As it snaps zoom or whatever, zooms to his face, and then Godzilla just walks through the building.
We're doing 2 commentaries of Godzilla 2000, by the way.
I thought we were doing 8. I want to do 15.
I want to do 8 commentaries of Godzilla 2000.
Hey, Joe, do we like Godzilla 2000?
I love Godzilla 2000.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a good film or not, we got nostalgia for it, and we really, really like it.
So, Abe is on the ground, of course. He's come in like a Terminator. And he's naked, of course. But there's a
give me your clothes.
For the audience, there's a convenient rock right ahead of him. But yeah, he's our Abe guy. And I remember when he started, it was like, that guy's face.
The moment his face was revealed. And it's crazy because he has some real crazy makeup on. I've been mentioning to Joe when we were watching this film, Kuwaiten, over and over. Like the snow princess. Basically, there is a story in the, I believe, 3 short stories in Kuwaiten. The middle one is this creepy snow spirit princess lady, and the eyebrows very much like Abe's character in this. Yeah. They look real evil, real.
I recognized him in his second shot because he looks up, and I'm like, I know that face when he looks up at Godzilla.
I told Joe, so my wife and I, all we do is watch movies and sometimes TV, like Better Call Saul, but we were recently watching a movie from, I believe, the 80s called Raising Cain. I think it was on Netflix. It was either Netflix or Hulu, but John Lithgow, not Jonathan, was the main guy in that film, and he looks like a young John Lithgow. So anyway, he's best known for 30 Rock. Anyway,
Hiroshi Abe.
Not a great movie, but young John Lithgow channeling some Hiroshi Abe.
I look up Hiroshi Abe, and he's not known as an actor according to Google. He's a Japanese model.
I mean, it's like the picture that I showed Joe from 2012. I'm looking at his filmography here on IMDb, a series that was going on until 2018. He's in the, let's look at this. Yeah, that's him in 2000, somewhere between 2015 and 18. And he looks like a freaking, this is like Paul Rudd levels of.
I wish I looked like him.
Whew. He's a good looking guy.
He's a good looking guy.
Yeah, so you could definitely cast him as like right there, that picture of him from a series from between 2015 and 2018. He looks like he could be a 30, maybe 20-year-old.
Even though how old is he?
Born. Sorry, we're going down an Abe hole.
He's 55.
Yeah, born in 64. So,
he's also in the movie Still Walking, which is a really good movie. Really good movie. Lots of television.
Would you say that movie had legs?
Oh, no. So Still Walking is a drama, and it's directed by Hirokazu Koreeda. Koreeda is just... he doesn't have a bad movie in his filmography. It's just all these little Japanese family dramas. I mean, he's kind of like a modern Ozu is what people have compared him to. Just really darn good movie.
Just a movie poster from Still Walking makes me want to see it. That's beautiful.
Yeah, Still Walking is a Criterion collection.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're making me want to look up the tweet that I shared today. The Criterion channel showed off their whole catalog in one tweet, like 4 images, and it might have been, I don't know. Yeah, that looks like a good one. Still Walking, Abe. If you got to get your Abe in.
Gotta get your Abe.
It's almost as
you gotta get your.
This is bringing back memories, Joe. The film trudges on, and because it doesn't matter, and you just get off on tangents because why? Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? Actually, this movie I had fun watching, even though it was bad.
Frustrated me.
It was fast. It wasn't boring like Mothra, so that was nice. It was nice to.
I would argue it's so generic. It was boring, but
we're all bad. So.
It's like as the moment. So Abe's character, Orochi in human form, falls to the moon, raises a big castle on the moon, like he uses his powers to. It rises up out of the ground, and as it's like panning up to this model castle, whatever, it like Abe's in the foreground and raises his sword, pans up to the castle, all lit, all kind of cool. You cut back to Takeru on Earth in the cave with all the gods chiseled on the walls, and his eyes open, like it's a extreme close up to his face, and eyes open. So pretty good transition. I don't know. Sure.
Our hero is alive, though.
It's all fine.
That's fine.
We never mentioned the...
Don't know how he's...
So the thing that he clutches in his times of desperation is a little necklace that's part of the yin-yang symbol. So, like, you immediately know as, like, an international audience, oh, there's another half to that symbol. Like, there has to be.
So last time he visited the bull, we didn't see the guy.
Last time
he only had the voice.
And this time when he visits the bull, he's gonna get the horns.
I am Bullhead.
This
Bullhead,
is a bunch of bull.
the great king of the underworld. The underworld, I will test you to see if you are the one that I want. By the way, my voice acting better than his.
And also, you skipped because, as is often with these Japanese films, especially the ones we cover on this podcast, if you ever turn on English subtitles, they don't match the dub because rather than give you the words that the dub actors are giving you on screen, the subtitles are of the transliteration. So it's just kind of a ballpark of what the actors are actually saying, the English voice cast. Joe, you skipped over that he said, I am Bull King, Hades of the underworld.
Bullhead. Even better.
Oh, Bullhead.
Well, you're just bullshit to me. That's the joke I made.
Bullshit. We went way off. Hey, we're returning back this formerly G-rated. Yeah, whatever.
It's G. It's Godzilla. That's all it means, not general. And then he gets the sword and the stone, which is nice. Yeah. This is
again playing to your international appetites. Everybody knows the King Arthur story.
That's right.
You ever see...
I do wonder if the sword in the stone is more than just King Arthur, but I don't know.
King Arthur.
And King Arthur, the King Arthur.
Brooklyn.
I don't know if it's like another oh no, because it's the lightsaber. That's right. Oh. I was like, really?
He uses it,
and it has the sounds of the lightsaber.
And he just used the sword. It's like Link's sword in the original Legend of Zelda to shoot a blast to blow off the Bull King's head.
Does that actor look familiar to you?
It does. You cannot find it, though. IMDb sucks for foreign language films. Sorry, guys, but...
I think Bullhead may be another...
You can't...
big-time Godzilla
The actors
actor.
that are posted in... maybe we could find it on the Wikizilla page, but there is no...
Dude, that guy looks so familiar to me right now.
He does. It was bothering me, and I couldn't find anything on him.
We're going to get a tweet later.
Guys, it was obviously...
Did you know Bullhead was played by... It'll be like, damn it, that was it. That was it.
Yuki Maguro?
Yuki Maguro?
I don't... That doesn't ring any bells.
That doesn't... No. No.
Very,
No,
very captivating podcasting, guys.
Just
Let's go ASMR.
That almost looks like the main guy in the original Godzilla.
Yeah, he's not.
It's not him, though.
Legend of the Eighth Samurai? Nope, that's nothing.
I'm sure it's a decent movie. Why not?
He was in Lupin the Third as obviously. What the Lupin? Do you know any of the Lupin films like Castle?
The only one I know is
that
the Miyazaki one.
Okay, yeah, me too. That's the only one I've seen, but I didn't know that it had live action adaptations, and apparently he was in one of them, the Bullhead.
Okay, maybe Bullhead's not familiar then.
No, he's not. He just has a familiar looking face.
Maybe it's just
his face. The actor's face is almost as generic as the English voice cast dub of him.
It's the prosthetics maybe on his face that make him look like someone else. But.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then the girl comes back. Doesn't even have a moment where she's like, "Where am I?"
No, it's because she's magical. She is a device for this movie. She's less than human. She's not human.
Stretches a little bit here.
It's sad how they use her in this. She is such a wonderful actress, and yet they're like, "Oh, hey, you're going to be an item for this man." There is a line in this film where she said, he goes, "Why are you with me? It's as if I'm drawn by fate."
Yeah,
and I'm immediately telling Joe,
it's my job.
I don't really want to be here. I don't know why she suddenly came from Tennessee.
I guess it's my job.
That's my job.
I'll just follow my man around.
My man.
Including the last frame of this movie where they're both on horseback and she's literally 8 feet behind him.
No, you didn't. No.
Yeah, she has no personality.
Agency personality. Nothing to do.
I assume if they had a sequel,
she becomes an item to him, an actual physical, like, oh, it's so contrived. Just so, like...
How dare you?
Slapdash together.
Are you telling me this isn't... You don't like this movie, Drew?
Nope.
How dare you?
What this movie would be good for is kids, and you just put it on in the background, just keep them quiet. Like, that's all this...
Just go over there and watch Katagiri.
Go and watch your 8-headed dragon movie. Yeah. The one that makes no sense and is really bloody. The one that has
8-headed dragon for about 5 minutes.
The one where multiple people get stabbed. through one time through the neck.
I don't hate her suit as much as you do, but it is cosplay for sure. I like his suit though.
It's real generic. It's just leather and white.
No, not his.
Oh, his. Yeah. Oh, Abe's. Okay.
Yeah,
no, his
Abe's.
is really dope.
Yeah,
like his is a Ghidorah tiara that he's wearing. It's like this dragon. Yeah, his armor is really cool.
Yeah.
He's got a black like leather cape.
So Drew, how are we going to do this Heisei era rewatch?
We'll discuss it later, but I'm thinking a marathon.
Marathon.
I hate even the thought, but we can involve other people because I'm not watching those alone. So that's going to be a full day affair of just F to pay respects because we'll be dead.
They don't have to watch them; they can just be on, you know.
Yeah,
that's how we did. Like, because me and my friends had watched Game of Thrones like 5 times.
What?
As we were going.
I'm never going to watch Game of Thrones again. Not after that ending, dude. The first several seasons are so good, but just knowing how it wraps up is like, guys. I mean, obviously you're going to recommend the series because you've watched it so many times. But I can't recommend it only because of the ending. Because it just like the conclusion is unsatisfying.
Anyway, we watched it so many times.
Controversial opinion.
It's not a controversial.
No, it's
not. A lot
really.
of people feel the same way you do. I'm kind of.
I loved it. We watched that whole series in like less than a month. We just plowed through it, and then by the end we're like, oh darn.
This has better sword fights though. So the we had watched it so many times though. That we just like we were gonna watch the first season again, and we were like, okay, we're gonna watch the first season. But
you're talking about like you, Schweiss, and the gang. Okay,
but we're just gonna play
Cameron
board games at the same time. So all we did was play board games, and Game of Thrones was on in the background, just kind of as like a reminder. But now you got me
real curious about this this dynamic. What board game were you guys playing?
I think we were playing Catan.
Oh, nice.
Settlers of Catan.
Nice.
We might have played some Monopoly as well.
All right, he's done messing around. We've seen this whole battle, and
once Laser Eyes comes out, you know things are serious in one of these movies. It's funny that this movie starts out as like a mythological thing.
You know what I just realized too?
The
actor moving around was told to not move in the shot. He didn't like move his neck or anything because it would be easier for them to animate the. Yeah, he's very stiff as he's doing the. Like, in the shots with Laser Eyes, the actors themselves... Oh, he's actually moving his head. Okay.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, they were able to track it. Look at that.
Yeah,
so this is Beam Collision number 9.
Yeah. Beam lock, beam collision, beam struggle, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, man. Beam collision is the greatest cliche.
It's that you got them 2 power beams busted.
I mean, straight up all the way through, like, Harry Potter recently. There's a beam collision.
Oh, yeah, there's a... Does that happen at the end of the original Harry Potter series, the film series?
The 4th movie and book.
No, you shall die. I don't know. That's a Sith Lord, whatever. The Revenge of the Sith.
I think that's also your Shao Kahn.
Oh yeah, because
Mortal Kombat.
I can't make my voice rough enough to sound like Palpatine.
And you will die.
No. You shall die.
No.
That's a little bit more Gollum. Gollum.
Oh, please, God, no! We can't do any more Gollum impersonations on this podcast.
It's
the
almost
whole building blows up because the one guy just died.
Some sweet practical effects.
That's right.
Sweet practical effects.
That's right.
And I don't know why you guys put up with us.
Also, it doesn't say anywhere. I couldn't find the information unless you can. But it does seem like like they took the Ghidorah suit from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 and just added
likely.
5
I mean,
heads on the back.
What it looks like for real. for real is a repaint of a Godzilla suit, and they just added. It's almost like what they did to for Christmas, Joe. I was lucky enough to receive.
Here now, by the way, for those.
Yeah, he's finally here in the last. Where are we at? I'm not going to pause it, but just to check where we're at on the time code.
Last 20 minutes, probably.
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes.
Yep,
20 minutes. Yep, almost to the T. To like the second. Wow. So Ghidorah showed up in a couple different forms throughout the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy. He kind of looked like this. I think it's like Kaiser Ghidorah.
Our timeline is a little screwed up, though, because there's the other Godzilla movies, and then there's the Mothra movies. And this is before Mechagodzilla 2.
It's somewhere in the middle. This is 94.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somewhere in the middle and whatever. Yeah. Heisei's a little fuzzy for me right now.
So you're saying there's like a lot of like that suit's just like hanging around. One of those Ghidorah suits. And then they must have just like put some extra heads on it.
I guess.
It looks almost exactly like Ghidorah.
Yeah, head model wise.
Extra heads.
It makes me appreciate.
Like they spray painted it red instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Yamato no Orochi, the actual Orochi, the eight-headed dragon's name, Yamato no Orochi, translates as giant eight-branched snake. Big snake of 8 branches, typically spelled in kanji characters as in Orochi, the eight-headed dragon. Yeah, same spelling used in both the Three Treasures and this film. Sometimes spelled as, mostly just call him Orochi. We'll probably just say Orochi, that's easy. And, yep. Yep, real lot of compelling stuff here, Joe.
That's right, man.
Can spray fire from his mouth, fire lasers in the Heisei series.
The lasers we saw were just like, oh my god.
You want to know something crazy? I mean, I told Joe before this commentary, Orochi is in the Monsterverse. That's our American current.
Was it in King of the Monsters?
That says, I don't know if it actually showed it.
Like
maybe
it
did for like
somewhere?
a second. Yeah. Residing at Monarch Outpost 91 at Mount Fuji in Japan, Yamato no Orochi was one of the many titans who began to attack humanity under the direction of King Ghidorah, later pacified when Madison Russell activated the Orca at Fenway Park.
But what's really confusing is that obviously since there's more heads, it's better. So why would it be taking...
because the justification in that film was that Ghidorah wasn't from Earth because
But Orochi is.
Oh yeah, I guess in the Monsterverse he is.
I guess so.
One of many titans that just lives under the earth. Joe, you know the Hollow Earth theory? Of course you do, because we're both nerdy kaiju whatever. Oh, because we watch the Monsterverse films, that's why.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to think that there are so many kaiju under the earth. It's not the Hollow Earth theory, Joe. We're just built around kaiju. There's a bunch of kaiju mashed up like a baseball, and that's what forms the earth. And if they poke their little, I guess, 8 heads for this guy up through the dirt,
is there another smaller planet that they're standing on though?
Possibly,
like in a big sphere.
Oh, like we really got to go back through our filmography. But the one where the one with the old man and the shirt that was too revealing. You know what I'm?
Yes, I know.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So
Latitude Zero.
Yeah, Latitude Zero. They had an underground like world that they were like the intelligent folk of the earth. The scientists lived on.
We had a couple of those.
So they've.
Yeah, that was Latitude.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't quote us, but it could have been. They have to deal with kaiju threats down there because that's the world that they live in, and they probably tame them and use them for the same reasons that the insane, totally sane female scientists in King of the Monsters wanted to call up those monsters to make the earth whole again, and that's what they use them for in the middle of the earth, is to keep the earth whole. Whatever. I'm creating a bunch of... Oh, you want to know what's crazy? Somebody recently shared a screenshot on Twitter of the guy... The guy from Megalon, Joe. The Emperor Antonio. The Sea Emperor.
Yeah.
He has a tiara that has a little Megalon head in the middle of it. Just like Abe's character in this film has a tiara with Orochi's head in the middle of it. Yeah, so, just a minor thing that you wouldn't really notice.
There's a weird frame rate thing with one of the special effects.
It's whenever the special effects show up, it's like too smooth. You're missing some frames. And
like the frames of him
there's
on top.
So many effects going on. The Takeru has like jumped onto Orochi's head and is stabbing him. So more blood for your kids. His eye was jabbed out.
Yeah, they put some money into this one.
Yeah,
into
this climax for sure. There's a lot of effects going on. Many different effects. Most of which practical, but
yeah,
it's the type of effects that they used in the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy, the film where the little baby fairy Mothra was chasing the but in the living room. You remember in the living room?
Yes,
yeah, it's those type of effects that are just so
it's like the rotoscoped out.
Yeah, and the eye lines have to match.
And
they never do so well.
This is my favorite part of the movie. She's in space, and then she wakes up.
They
uses
both are in space. Have we established that he can live in space?
They're just cool out there, man. They're just like
no oxygen, no gravity, and yet they stop. They're not flying further into space, which is what they should be doing. They weren't burnt up through the atmosphere through exiting our atmosphere. Take my hand. Hey, Joe. Does this not make sense? She will become his plot armor.
Well, they set it up earlier in the movie. They're like, one of your lights is going to become your armor or whatever.
Odo, you don't have to give up your agency and free will for me. Oh, you will? All right, I'll take it.
She's just... I mean, what else are they going to do, man? They're floating out in space.
It's not like you can fight alongside me and help me to defeat you. Oh, you have to become a giant mecha that I fight in.
You can't just Princess Leia this crap, all right?
Right. Princess Leia is such a developed character and has like her own decision making, and she's like a fully fleshed out. And I'm talking about the original.
And when she's in a coma out in the middle of space, suddenly the Force decides that she can be pulled back into the spaceship.
Joe, in The Last Jedi, wait, no, which one? Rise of Skywalker.
Okay,
you see that she was trained. She had her own lightsaber, Joe.
That's because they had to write that because the other guys screwed up.
Fist that into the series.
I feel like Rise of Skywalker was them being like, "Oh, how do we freaking fix this thing?"
Oh my gosh, what did he do to us?
What did he do? I love every other Rian Johnson movie I've seen. I think he's a great guy, but God, Last Jedi. Oh, such a disappointment. Anyway, I'm sure like people out there are feeling the opposite because that's what you run into. Is like you're either a person who loves Last Jedi,
or you're a person who despises,
or you're a person who really doesn't like it,
or you're a person who's been over the Star Wars films since the original trilogy, and you just don't. You're like whatever they can do whatever they want.
I was really
into
them until I saw The Last Jedi. I much preferred Rise of Skywalker to The Last Jedi.
All right, we're too Daimogen. He isn't, but he is. He's a cleaned up, silver looking.
So yeah, she gives herself to him, and she becomes his armor. And then he
grows to be the size of Orochi.
He now looks like the monster in the Mysterians.
Yeah, Mothra.
Yeah, that's exactly what
he looks like. Mothra.
Without a beak.
I think you're talking hip wise because he's got
thunder thighs, man. That's what he's got. You know, if you're doing any fights in a kaiju movie, thunder thighs. That's so funny. It's totally a practical thing. It's like, why do all these guys always have huge hips?
So the reason...
It's like, it's got to be the suits, right?
Yeah, it never looks as good as a... So if it's practically done, Joe, so this is why This is why masks and helmets don't work on superhero films, why they rarely use them, because they can look so much sleeker, obviously animated, but they look, no matter what you do, you have to contort to the human frame, and it doesn't look good because it just adds bulk. So they end up looking, hey, what does this guy look like? Super bulky. Because you take a normal human frame and you put more on top of it, and it's not sleek in any way.
You know what it is? The monsters look really good in this movie, but they don't move.
They do, but they move on wheels.
Yeah,
it's
this
like
guy's on wheels. The rock monster was just like sitting there.
Orochi's farting out fog the whole time he's moving around.
The octopus guy is just his tentacles in close up actually doing anything. Like the guy just sits
maybe
there.
YouTube,
it's kind of like Biollante that way. Where just like
YouTube or Orochi, they had a dragon fight. I mean, Toho's pretty strict apparently on their on stuff that you can find on YouTube.
Not that much, yeah.
But like, if you can find this scene, just watch this. This is one of those films, guys. For me, at least, I don't know about you, Joe. Just watch the monster battle, and even it's not that great.
I had a good dorky time with this movie. Honestly, it's terrible.
I'm never gonna watch this.
I
again.
find it far less boring.
That's why you guys can have this one.
This is pretty
win
cool.
this to the end of this.
So he has the crazy beam power thing, right? And he's actually going to use it to chop off some heads.
No, he just busts heads, like literally snaps necks.
That's right. And it's the beam stuff reminds me of, was it Destroyer or Mechagodzilla 2? Maybe.
I love that we can actually say Destroyer. Sounds so cool.
Destroyer. But yeah, he's got the super beam powers. So I guess
some cool angles, cool shots of the mecha thing. Yeah. I mean, they're blowing through all of the powers of this. Like,
yeah, how are you gonna make sequels to this thing?
Well, yeah, because just like you parsed out the powers of Mothra as it like evolved through the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy. It got new powers, new forms, new abilities. So you're keeping your audience in captivated by all these different things it's able to do. In this film, he does like 5 or 6 different powers, and I would just assume it would be as boring as, so if this actually ever got another sequel, he would just have another form. I mean, that's a new look. Maybe, Joe, I can picture that, okay, now he looks real bulky and he's got all this armor. Here's the pitch for the second, I don't even know what story they'd use because I'm not as familiar with Japanese mythology. He would look more like Ultraman. The armor would come off, and he would be more agile, less bulky, and just...
That'll be the next light he has to find. He has to find the fourth light, and it's just
he would transform him.
It's a better woman.
He appears...
becomes his armor.
He gets 2 ladies. He forms... He forms a...
2 is always better than 1.
An armor harem. They're each weapon he has is a different girl a princess that he collects and finds. This is becoming like harem anime or whatever. It's
harem anime.
It's a popular, I think. Yeah, we're done. I'm done.
The movie's almost over. Go ahead. Tell me what a harem anime is.
It's one, there's a surprising amount, but one where there's one awkward, geeky boy, usually very unconfident, and all the women are into him. Hey, who does that appeal to?
Me.
It appeals to lonely men who are like, I can't get women. Hey, this main character in this film doesn't have to do anything and magically gets women, and he has his own little harem. Yeah, that's what this would turn into.
Okay. So, Rainbow Powers. Luckily, she's alive.
Yeah, it's weird. She like dies, comes back.
She just,
you think she dies. She turns
sparkly.
into dust.
She must be one of the gods that was like named in the opening credits of gods.
And he has to be though too, because he was forced.
She snuck up on him.
Yeah, the pan there is like funny. So they are now back in human form. They defeated Orochi.
With you.
He's like, oh great, yeah, you're a dream, you're a champ. It's not like I do all the heavy lifting. You couldn't have defeated that thing without me becoming your armor.
See, look, I gave you the breath of life earlier. You called it a kiss. It's bullshit. And then
what is Joe? If it's not a kiss, what is it? What is the breath of life?
Hold on. What do you call that thing? It's a
CPR? No.
CPR. You just call it breaths in CPR. I don't know if there's like a technical
But she
term
gives
for
him
that.
one.
She gives
one
him a
big
breath.
long breath smooch.
She's only got one breath, man. She dove into the water. She went, better save this for his lungs.
We've already established she's a goddess, so she's just breathing as much air as she wants into him.
That's right. And then
yeah, he has a little necklace he's used throughout the film.
He's locking up. Oh yeah, the voiceover tells him to lock him up in the crystal like a Pokeball.
Oh, this is terrible. Throw it away.
Throw it into the sky.
Takeru and the girl both come across Abe, And he captures him in his necklace, Takeru does, throws him into the sky, and the girl rightfully has the question, why don't we just destroy him? Well, first off, that's not how this works. No, second off...
gods are like that!
The bull god says, he might come back and bring happiness instead of destruction.
Next time.
Gods are like that.
Fickle. Gods are like that.
Gods can do whatever they want.
Both me and Drew laughed pretty hard at that.
They're like humans, only so immensely powerful that they shouldn't really be able to do whatever they want, because if
I guess next time
they can cause a lot of destruction.
In a crystal thing, I guess next time I could bring happiness to all mankind.
I guess if I want, or
I really want to,
I could have some fun and create a castle on the moon and attempt to destroy the Earth and get taken down by one man.
My favorite thing is that the Emperor knows what happened.
Everybody does, apparently.
And they were nowhere near it.
His hat's dumb. The Emperor's clothing looks bad.
The Emperor has no clothes.
He's got too many clothes.
He just looks up in the sky and goes, "Oh."
Does he have a tear? He has a tear.
It must have been him. Like,
God,
what? How do you know
I didn't
that?
even realize he had a tear. That's how little he seems to care.
No one's talking to him. No one's telling him, hey, look, your son's fighting up there.
We had the joke throughout this as well that very early on, after defeating Genghis Khan, Takeru comes back to tell his father, the Emperor, of the accomplished mission, and his father acts like he's being satisfied with him. And then after talking to Takeru all, just kindly, he goes, "It's not enough."
It's not enough.
So everything we were saying that he does after this, it's not enough.
Gosh.
You just saved the Earth from a giant eight-headed dragon. It's not enough.
Blue screen shot here that they just kept in, I guess, because that was totally a blue screen shot. They were going to have a different sky, and then they're like, I guess we'll just keep it blue screen.
This film, I realized that I'm embracing my tears.
It would have been rocks and crap, but they just kept them on a blue screen.
Well, that was bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to say.
And now we get our Japanese rock song. Which,
Japanese, while I sprinkle up my feelings that can no longer reach you.
While I sprinkle up my feelings.
Well, there's a really bad. So Joe doesn't watch much anime, which is fine. I don't really either. All I need is your light. Laugh after the violent storm. When you watch anime, the transliterated openings and endings, before my rain-soaked heart rips open.
Jesus.
This is the credits, and these are the lyrics to the credits. They're always transliterated, so they don't make much sense. You take the literal translation, which probably makes a whole lot more sense in Japanese. Stop the tears and tell me now.
That one makes sense.
Of the pain of the loneliness that you keep wearing. Can you wear loneliness?
I guess. All right. Anyway, we're done with this movie.
Yeah, we're done.
This movie's bad.
It's real bad.
It's not as bad as the Mothra movies we just had.
The sin that it commits, as many films that we went through do, it's just boring.
I didn't think it was boring. I had a good time watching it. I thought it was bad.
It's three very simple acts that lead. So nothing builds up to Orochi. The other two monsters that he defeats are completely disconnected from our main villain, and it just
here's what I'll say. I think the action scenes are pretty good for what we usually watch in these.
Okay, yeah, not shot the best.
I think that the kind of the corniness of the effects and the direction and the random writing of just random exposition all over the place makes the movie kind of fun to make fun of.
I don't think it's bad enough to be good, so I don't fully agree. But I'm glad that we watched the English dub, because that was the right decision for this film. It's already so boring and bad that you might as well just go full tilt and
just embrace the corn.
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
have fun with it. So watch the English dub.
All right, well,
and hear about Bull God.
I do think it's better than the Mothra movies.
If we give it another minute, we'll see the closing shot of the credits. It's really awkward.
Drew, Mothra movies are this.
The third Mothra movie.
Third Mothra,
yep.
Then this.
Oh, are we ranking just those 4 films?
Just rank those 4 films.
This one's just right in the middle. I don't care. It's just boring. I can't remember which. No, the second Mothra film was the worst.
The second Mothra film is awful, and the first one's awful, just not as awful.
So the second Mothra film, rock bottom. This one's tied in the middle somewhere, and then the third Mothra film, obviously, just right up top.
All right.
Third Mothra film's good. The third Mothra film completes the lore established by the other two. It's a good family story. The kids are strong. Kids have a development. Yeah, good movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't love that third one, but
Joe, in comparing it to the other films you just mentioned, it's a GD masterpiece.
I think it's this movie and then a step down to Mothra 3 and then another step down to Mothra 1.
You think this is the top?
Yes, out of those 4 movies, absolutely.
I'm bored to tears by this.
I know you are. I could tell when you're getting like antsy through these things, but I don't think it would have been as bad if your DVD wasn't skipping.
No, yeah. The beginning of this film held so much promise for me because I'm like, oh, there's a lot of like deep lore connections. Like,
you didn't know there was going to be a lightsaber, though.
Yeah, that's what ruined it. Like, just the boringness of like, hey, look, this looks cool. You guys like lightsabers, right? Yeah, lightsabers, guys.
I don't know. I'm going my ranking of the non-Godzilla Heisei movies, which we would do these rankings if we were to do a Heisei.
Orochi the Eight-Headed Dragon top. Then what are the other 3?
Then 3, 1, 2.
Okay.
On the Mothra.
I like that we can agree on
Rebirth
the bottom.
Oh yeah, those
don't
are
ever
terrible.
watch the second Rebirth of Mothra.
Oh, it's awful. It's so awful.
This film, as stated by me, I would put in the background to let my kids watch and just whatever. Wouldn't want to watch it with them. I would want to sit down and watch the third Mothra Rebirth of Mothra trilogy film with my kids to be like, this is an acceptable kids film.
Okay,
but this one, no.
Okay,
but Joe says yes. Why do you say that?
Why?
I don't get why.
I thought this was more fun. I in every single one of those Mothra movies, the first time I had to watch it without you, I fell asleep in the middle of every single Mothra movie. I did not fall asleep during this movie, and I laughed.
I guess I'm having a hard time gauging your reaction because we weren't actually like together when we were recording those. What?
Mothra 3, I understand why people think this is way better than the other 2 because it is, but for me, Mothra 3 is still not good.
I have to go on a limb here. Do you just hate when kids are the main characters? Is that...
I think maybe.
You've established... You said that as a kid, you didn't like kid actors.
That's true.
So as an adult, you're going to doubly hate kid actors.
Doubly hate.
And when they're the main characters in your film, it's like... I don't want to see a 12-year-old boy have an arc and grow up and go through some stuff and become strong and...
Lame.
No,
I think Mothra 3 was the best of those 3. I do remember the ending scene being real dumb and like real...
In
like,
Mothra 3, sorry.
It's
which
like
one?
really crushes in that underlying the theme that they were trying to put forth.
Wait, you're talking about... Are you talking about the first Mothra?
I think I'm talking about the third one.
I remember it being a lot more explicit. That's the first.
Is that the first one?
The first.
Oh, then I don't remember 3 at all.
Okay.
There we go, guys.
The third was with the bubble dome and Ghidorah capturing the kids.
Yeah, I remember.
That's the third one.
Yeah, I don't remember how that one ends, actually.
I don't either. It's completely blank in my head. I remember it being... Well, maybe my opinion is invalid.
Yeah.
We're certainly professionals here. Thanks, guys.
I'm thinking about the feeling then.
Unbiased, unprofessional.
I think I turned to Timo because I watched that one with Timo and I went, it's better than the other 2, but it's still bad.
It's still something you would not put on in front of your friends to be like, hey, let's watch this.
Let's watch one of these.
Hey, you guys like...
And there's other Heisei Godzilla movies I would do that with, but none of the other Heisei movies, no.
You know what no one would ever do and no one should ever do? Watch King of the Monsters, where we get our very first American interpretation of Mothra, and then go, oh, guy, you liked that Mothra? I gotta show you the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy. That's the natural progression of if you enjoyed that Mothra. No.
I have no idea what kind of disappointment you might have in store for you.
Let me make you dislike Mothra.
Oh, wow. Mothra is really...
been in some movies.
Got some bad movies.
You know how we'll get to it when in another 3 years we get to King of the Monsters commentary, the new one. But like, you know what they're doing with Mothra in Godzilla what the fans have done. Like they basically made him boyfriend and girlfriend.
Godzilla and Mothra?
Yeah, that's how people are interpreting that whole thing that they have.
Don't get it.
I don't want to. I don't need to.
I don't get it.
We'll get into that later, but maybe we can get an expert in on that and somebody can tell us why that is.
One of our listeners who knows way more about Godzilla.
Is it because Yeah. Let's get a Godzilla expert in.
Let's actually get a person who knows about Godzilla to be on the Godzilla
Let's have a Godzilla expert guest on the Godzilla podcast where two guys
you guys who
Thunder Thor.
can't remember the last movie. You know what, Drew?
Guys, this has been the Godzilla podcast. We need to do giveaways and read some reviews.
Let's get into that. Okay,
right,
Drew.
Thanks. Hey, we're going to read some reviews.
It's only been 8 months, so,
really?
We only have, 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
7.
6, 7. Wait, 1? Hold on.
That's almost
We might have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7. You're right.
It's almost a review a month, so thank you, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Since it starts with an allusion to a Britney Spears song in the title of this one, I'm going to let Joe take that one.
By Brandolante. By the way, a 5-star review. We're pretty sure this is as far back as we need to go. We weren't 100% sure when our last iTunes review was.
Anybody cares that theirs hasn't gotten read, just tweet at us.
Just bug us about it. Okay. Kaijoops, I did it again. Despite the fact I was obsessed with both Jurassic Park and Power Rangers as a child, I somehow missed out on Godzilla films. I'm really enjoying them now as an adult. With the new legendary MonsterVerse films being produced, I have even more reason to go back and get caught up. Ooh, and then I lost my spot. Where are we at? Joe and Drew provide great laid-back commentary and different perspectives comparing the films viewed current day versus their youth. I enjoy the film production they discuss in detail as well. I really enjoyed the Hedorah episode as well as the Space Godzilla episode with G-Man, and we'll definitely be watching those soon. Not quite kaiju, but I would love to see you guys watch and review the Korean monster movie The Host, directed by
Bong Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho, now an triple Academy Award winner. Keep up the good work. Kiss you guys.
Yeah, you have listened to the podcast. If you say that's a deep cut,
I think we might have.
Kiss you guys.
I'm recognizing that review. I think we might.
We might have.
pretty great.
Well, that was a good one. I might know Brandolante on Twitter. It doesn't go by that name, but it sounds familiar the way he speaks.
All right.
Yeah, we've seen The Host 3 or 4 times. At least I love that movie. Recently rewatched Snowpiercer and Parasite for the first time. Great.
Parasite is
amazing. Okay. Anyway, next one is Todd Tan. Can't get through a day without you guys. These two outstanding fellas. Yeah, I'm sorry as well. These two outstanding fellas have given a wonderful sight of my Godzilla experience, going back to thinking of when I watched my VHS tapes of Godzilla vs. Gigan, and it being one of my favorites. I am working hard trying to scrape up some money for you guys, so hopefully don't do that. Thank you, though. So hopefully I could get an episode with you. Those are, as far as I know, currently canceled, but they will be.
They're not canceled. They're on hold.
Yeah,
There's
the people who have gotten them, we will get to you.
I think I put a max number so that the number of people wouldn't keep going up, because we still have 5 people we got to talk to. We've just been, we'll talk. I'm sure we have, or...
Joe and I have to discuss that. We'll go further. I don't care how much it would cost, but it would be... I would absolutely love to do a commentary for Dragon Ball Super Broly to try and see if Drew and I could maybe tilt Joe's sight on anime. There are a few... Sorry, my thing just screwed up too.
Did the same thing I did.
It did the same thing. I'm in the middle of the reviews.
Just don't put your thumb to the side.
Okay, you're right. There are a few monsters in that movie, and although they're not the focus at all, if you see the destruction the 3 Saiyans, Goku, Vegeta, and Broly make, you could surely call them monsters. Love you guys, and could not get through a workday without you. I hope life's treating you guys well. Thank you very much. It is treating us well.
Thank you, Todd Tan. No, we're still going to do the commentaries. We still owe them. We're going to do them. Just the logistics of it still have to be worked out right now because, life. Okay, Bimardi says... 5 stars. King of the podcast. Wow, the king. Nice. Thank you. New to the Godzilla podcast and longtime fans of Godzilla films. You guys have been keeping my work nights entertaining. I have enjoyed all of your podcasts so far. Started at Gojira 1954 and just finished your Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster podcast and loved it. Keep up the good work, guys. Oh, thanks.
Thank you. Next one is Awesome by Sam Hagler. And by the way, if we haven't stated, these are all 5-star reviews so far, so thank you very much. Okay, these guys are great. You can tell they have been friends for a long time. They have chemistry from the first episode. I've always loved Godzilla since I was a kid. I would beg my mom to watch it even though she said it would scare me. She was right, but I loved it anyway. Great podcast, highly recommend. Thank you. Short, sweet, and to the point.
Red Wolf 2000, 5 stars, absolutely fantastic. This podcast is one of the most genuinely enjoyable podcasts I've ever found. The amount of appreciation these guys show for the films always make my days a whole lot better. I really hope you guys continue reviewing Godzilla movies, though I may not have the same opinion on the movies. Destroy All Monsters in particular.
Yeah.
You mean beat up Ghidorah?
Yeah.
Beat up one monster?
Dog pile on Ghidorah.
Yeah, I guess.
Supposed to be able to do something against them and does absolutely nothing. All right.
They love it. He or she loves it. I can still see their criticisms as valid. Anyway, I hope y'all continue with your great stuff. Thank you.
Well, thank you. This one's very short. Paul Leo. I think that's how you say that with 2 E's. Paleo. 5 stars. The review is 5 stars and the title of the review is 5 stars. Amazing podcast and love watching the movie along with them. Thank you. I wonder how many people do that. So interesting.
I've done it once, I think.
I've done it too. Yeah. I tried it out with Dano as well. And I was like, it's kind of awkward hearing myself, but it kind of works. Yeah.
All right. Nick Bash 123, 5 stars. One of the absolute best. Someone else told us we were the king, so excuse me, I'm offended. Nick Bash
There are a lot more kaiju podcasts now. There are
does seem like
many.
Since we started, there were already like a few when we started.
There was literally like probably 3 to 5 big ones, and now I can't even keep track. Yeah, anyway.
Without these two knuckleheads, I wouldn't have been able to cultivate such a deep appreciation for these movies or this genre. They are funny and informative, thoughtful, and occasionally silly. I can only hope they move on to the Gamera and all the other insane kaiju movies that are on offer. Well, thank you, Nick Bash 123. We'll see. We got to finish our series as it is.
As is. There's literally probably close to 24 films we got to do at this point, so including the American.
And at one every 8 months.
Hey, that might be changing. I mean, not.
It will be.
Yeah,
it's gonna change.
Yeah, Joe and I are in discussions, but the Godzilla podcast is being revived.
All right, so we got this giveaway.
Yeah, we do.
Drew.
Joe, we have a wonderful looking, like, honestly, the paint job on this thing's pretty decent. These Bandai figures, you can find them in Walmart, Target, wherever. Yeah, they are your standard Godzilla Bandai figure. The painting's great. It is a Mothra Leo figure. I don't know, the sculpt's decent too. They're not articulate at all, so it's more like a little mini statuette, and there's no stand to it.
Put it on your bookshelf.
Yeah, I would honestly keep it in the packaging because it's a nice display of the wings, really beautifully colorful. You got the standard Millennium Godzilla King Caesar and that 54 one on the back there showing them off.
Pictures on the back.
Pictures. All right, so Joe, we're going to give that to somebody. Who are we going to give it to?
Well, Drew, after much deliberation,
literally seconds of deliberation,
we have decided upon Nick Bash 123.
Nick Bash 123, you are one of the absolute best, and you deserve a Mothra Leo figure.
So please, Nick Bash, reach out to us. Do it in the next 3 to 4 weeks. If you don't, we're going to have to give this away to someone else.
Yeah, Twitter direct messages.
Hopefully you listen to this episode all the way through.
Do we check the email? You're the one that would be...
No, I don't check any email.
Okay, then it's tweet at
either at Drew Daybell or at Joseph Gillier.
Literally our names.
Yeah.
So,
and then we'll figure it out with you.
Okay.
So don't you worry about that. Nick Bash 123, thank you for your review, and everybody who gave us all those.
You guys
5-star
are,
reviews.
especially since we've been on hiatus, we're still getting stuff, dude. Okay, just to stroke our egos here for just a moment. When I look up new podcasts, often there's a lot of filler in the like podcast feeds of people who do like, you know, I don't know. I guess it's because they podcast more consistently than us. When I looked through our feed, I'm like, it is just straight mainlining these movies. I mean, we got the occasional sidebar with...
It was a lesson learned, Drew.
But yeah, it has been. But I'm just saying that it's easier... When I look at our feed, I can see the appeal of it, is what I'm saying. Because there's a... Yeah, I don't know. It's so
posters,
simple.
Just the movies and occasionally
it's the movie names, and you know exactly if you listen to one of our episodes, you understand what you're getting when you're clicking on any of those episodes. It's the commentary.
Yep.
There's no sidebar stuff. You're just getting straight mainline Godzilla.
Just sounded like a snort to them. Just
Is that,
mainline in that
how you
Godzilla,
do,
baby.
Is that how you do coke like a pig?
You know what, Drew? This may surprise you. I know I've been living in LA for a little while. I have never done coke.
I don't think I have a very good little. Nope. My
I feel
hands
like
are too fat.
I'm already like a caffeine addict.
I got a little bit. Or you do your bump.
What?
It's not a visual medium.
It's
but
where you do your bump, Drew. In case everybody at home just know where you do your bump. Drew has a little bit of that.
A little bit of where you get your... I think we've been doing this long enough, and behind the scenes,
he's holding up his thumb,
and you make a little indent. Oh no, you can do it there. Sorry, there's a little spot, a little divot. If you don't got
between your thumb and your wrist,
that's where you.
There's a little indent if your body fat percentage is low enough. Okay.
Anyway, guys, you're gonna get that Mothra Leo figure sent to you, Nick Bash. We appreciate it.
All right, we got another giveaway. Patreon. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is our special shout-outs / giveaway section. For last time, we did Mothra 3, Invasion of King Ghidorah from 1998.
The best of the Mothra trilogy.
And everybody who supported us on that is part of the drawing.
Eligible for this film we just commentated over.
Month, yes. Orochi, the 8-headed dragon, or the name of the guy who I just forgot already.
Yamato Takeru. Joe, we've just been saying his name repeatedly for more than an hour.
Obviously, we aren't recording this part first.
That's not how editing works.
All right. Names and the wonderful people who are still supporting us after 8 months of radio silence.
I think the only reason this is possible is that we only do this per commentary. You're paying us per commentary rather than monthly, because otherwise, guys, quit paying us. I'm sorry, but
it's not monthly. I made sure because I knew when we set up the show how this was going to be, so we're good. Even though I think there's some people I owe stickers to, and definitely the invites. Chris Jappert. Thank you. Midnight Teas.
Thank you.
Anne Dredd.
Thank you.
Jesse Hickman.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Melissa Carter.
Oh, thank you.
Kenneth Dempsey.
You are so sweet.
Jesse Salcedo.
Thank you.
Taylor Hensley.
Gracias.
Joel Klingel.
Danke.
Martin Wright.
I can't remember how to say thank you in Russian. I used to know that.
Gracias. It's not Russian, but Chris Britt.
Thanks.
Tess Pattern.
You guys are too sweet.
Great show, by the way. And Taylor Ward. Thank you so much to our Patreon donors for our last episode. Drew, you got your little program up?
I do. So do we want a drum roll? Chris Taylor, thank you so much. Hey,
enjoy.
The app got updated. It says say name. Let's see what this sounds like.
Chris Taylor. Oh, yeah.
It was really quiet, but
you gave it an easy name, though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, there's a few in there that it would probably have.
AI is getting pretty good sounding. I was thinking that it'd sound like the old raffle, schwash, wash, 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 wash. Back in the day.
Yeah, look, the robots are getting better.
Yeah, it's freaky. Yeah, deep fakes with voices. There could be an AI Godzilla podcast for all we know at this point. We've been gone so long. A completely self-generated.
I loved this movie.
It would sound, if it's deep faked, man, it would be a lot more fluid.
Yeah, there's some pretty freaky deep fake stuff.
Period. Like they take scenes from movies and replace the actors.
Oh, God, it's got to stop.
Okay, so Joe and I are going to be appearing in a deep-faked Godzilla film soon.
All right, our actual next movie, we might do a Heisei era retrospective.
Yeah,
we might do another section of Godzilla Island, or
98.
1998.
That would be the American one that everybody craps all over with
that's
Zilla.
our next movie. I'm not sure what our next episode's going to be.
So, guys, I mean, Joe and I have to discuss
Could
this,
be
but
a
to
phone call.
have a little bit of the, to have a little bit of the behind the scenes in front of the camera, just so we can discuss this. I'm not so sure about being able to do a Heisei retrospective. More than half of the films we did from the Heisei era, those were my first viewing of those films. So unless we can set up literally a time when we can marathon, I don't want to do it either, but I just won't be.
How long is that day going to be?
It's not, well, it's shorter than the Showa era, but not by a couple films. Well, we'll figure it out. I'm just saying that I'm not going to be able to remember.
You're not going to remember them that well to be able to rank them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like the Showa era films that we did in pretty...
Yeah, but we did those
a
lot quicker.
A lot quicker, and there had been multiple viewings prior to...
For a lot of them. Not all of them, though.
And I'm not going to say that my enthusiasm was large, but like at the time I was like, podcasting is sweet. At this time it's like, hey, Joe, you want to do that again? Yeah, sure, why not? I got time.
Got
a couple hours.
Oh, I put in retrospective because we were talking. That was dumb. All right.
What are you looking up?
I was looking up all the Heisei films. Like, if you're looking like 2 hours each.
Just look at the kaiju. So, for more transparency for you guys, the list that we go off of, if you Google... Oh, darn. Of the like
For Godzilla, there's 7 films, then there's 3 Mothra, and then there's this.
TohoKingdom.com. If you look up kaiju movie list, that's exactly what we go off of.
That's an 11 movie marathon.
That's...
Although I don't think we need to rewatch the Mothras.
No. Those need to be
So
burned.
it's really just
those
7.
Need to be
and we don't have to rewatch this one either.
from humanity's memory.
Just 7 movies. Return of Godzilla, which is 1984, Biollante, King Ghidorah, Mothra.
7 films, 1.5 to 2 hours each. That's less. That's a 11 to 14 hour.
That's a full marathon. That's a get here in the morning and then drink and die.
I don't know if I'd be able to remember if I was drinking.
I mean, we'll take a nap in the middle too, just during Godzilla vs. Mothra.
Just
we'll
one
take a nap.
All right, with breaks. I don't know. That was just
there wouldn't be any breaks on that, baby. You'd have to let that go. But, it's one of those, we're just refreshing. We can talk over it. It's not a big deal. We can have other people over. Just like...
We could turn on our own commentary.
Just make a party out of it. That's not a bad idea.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
so if a Heisei retrospective doesn't come, sorry, that would be our only option, really, is to review.
I don't even think that's that big of a deal. You could look at some clips and be like, oh, yeah, I remember.
Oh, yeah, I remember the non-existent plot of half the films. No, they weren't that bad. Have I become cynical? Oh, no. That 1-star review that we got is correct.
Yes, the 1-star we're cynical review. All right, man. That's it for this week.
Yeah, you already got our tweeter handles.
At Joseph Eagle,
at Drew Daybell. Yeah,
And
seriously, tweet at us.
We're getting rid of the website soon just because we're cutting costs and no one uses it. So
yeah, it's a WordPress
Twitter.
site. It wasn't updated often. Yeah, honestly, what places have their own websites now? Everybody just does social media.
This is a conversation we had. Me and Schweiss had like 8 months ago.
I was surprised to remember. Oh yeah, we have a website. Like,
well, I mean, it's GodzillaPod.com. But the thing with the website is that once upon a time, before all the social media took over, not that long ago, honestly, when we started, it's probably around the time that it started becoming like, oh, no one goes to their website. They go to their Facebook page or their Twitter page, and they just give information.
Or
that way.
A lot of people just have a YouTube channel where people get the updates and the news.
Yeah, just might as well just go with the future. I mean, we used to have forums for Ultima, Final Fantasy.
And literally forums are
and the
Twitter.
Forums at the beginning. And we have more listeners now than we had then.
Yeah.
Super busy forums. And then we redid the forums.
Dude, forums to me sound like such a 2000s thing. And like early 2000s.
The forums slowly died. Mm-hmm. And now there's people on it. We have a Discord channel. Mm-hmm. Which is cool. Maybe we should have it for the Godzilla podcast.
I have no...
It's a Geekdom Entertainment Discord thing, so we could just add a Godzilla room. I'll talk to the guys about that.
Okay. Yeah, whatever.
And that's a cool way of like talking to folks.
Let's see how consistent we can be for the next little while, because I really think we can be if you're down here.
Yeah, I'll be moving up here for
a lot easier than Skype calls.
I'm sure we'll talk about it in detail when we do Godzilla Island again.
Yeah, the flow is going to be better for these podcasts, these commentaries, because Joe and I are in the same room.
Yeah,
being able to gauge. I don't know. I just think the chemistry is better. Yeah. Okay, but thank you. We're going to quit blabbering on. Hey,
adios.
Keep it G.